You on mute. You on
You
mute,
know
man.
what? That works a lot better. Let me try this again. Yo, what's good, Panther Nation? How y'all doing? Welcome to Two Fans in the Stands.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
rookie
Yes, sir.
mistake if
What's
I ever
happening?
seen it.
2024.
Yeah, for those of y'all that we haven't talked to already, this is our first live of the new year. So happy New Year to everybody, even though we 13 days in. But happy New Year. Hope everything is going good for everybody out there. Tony, how you
Happy
doing, cuz?
belated new. Man, I'm good, cuz. How about yourself, man? Hey,
I'm doing
I'm
good.
not going to use the word optimistic. I'm not going to use the word hopeful. This year. So I'm just going to say, for right now, my eyes are wide open, and I'm just going to see how things fall into place. How about yourself, though? How
Okay.
you feel?
Hey man, I'm feeling good, man. I can't complain. I'm feeling good. Feeling good, man.
Okay.
A new year. But you know the reason why I'm really feeling good? The damn season is
Why is
over,
that?
dog. It's
Hey,
over. It's over, man. It's over.
if I had a tambourine right now, I'll be ringing it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy. So happy that this season is over. Our fan base has been divided like I've never seen before. But one thing I think we can
Yeah,
all agree on, and I think we're all happy that this roller coaster has stopped. Okay.
man, who you telling?
Hey, we would like the Fury 360 at Carowinds. You remember that joint? The bolts came loose and the leg was like this and like it was wiggling when the
Yeah,
ride was going.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how we've been all season, man. And it's finally
Yes, sir.
it's finally stopped. Okay,
Hope,
but the
hope,
question is
hopefully
now.
somebody gonna fix the crack.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that was my next point. Hopefully somebody can fix the damn thing and then we can get this show back on the road. Get it rolling like it's supposed to. Because right now, ooh, it's a mess,
Don't
man. It
don't
it
look good. Don't look good for the home team.
it don't, man. It really don't. We have set some records this year that I don't want anything to do with ever again. You know what I mean? I'm like we've gone
No, I
we've
feel
gone
you.
down to like like the Cleveland Brown years and the Detroit Lion years when they were like bad. That's
Yeah, yeah.
that's where we at this year. But yeah, well, let me
Paper bag over your face with two eyes poked out bad.
thank you. Thank you. Get some of these
Yeah.
comments. Black Cat Panther Podcast. What's up, fella? What's up? How y'all doing, fellas?
What's going
Black Cat
on,
Panther
Q? No,
Podcast.
that's probably
Dub
Q.
Dub Q and the boys. Goat, Wiley, and everybody over there. I like messing with Wiley. I be going over on their page, and every time Wiley be giving out stats, I be on them, boy. Let me tell you, Wiley good for messing up a stat or two. Shout out to Wiley though, man. It's all love.
Hey,
Hey,
tell
Doug said, "What's
next
up,
time,
fellas?"
hey Q, next time you talk to Wiley, you tell Wiley I ain't got none of those damn tapes that got evidence of what he been saying yet. So, you know what I'm saying? I said I was gonna call
Oh
him and tell
man,
him that. Like damn dog, if this was the Department of Defense, you have so many damn security clearances declined right now.
yo, hey, let me tell you,
Oh,
Tony.
man.
I don't know if Wiley was really mad or not, but it was one day I was on him. But it was funny. He was like, "Come on, CJ, bring your ass in here." I said, "I can't do. I'm sitting at work, man. I couldn't do it that day. I couldn't mess with him that day. But I was on him, man. I swear I was on him.
Yeah,
Black Cats, terrible. Yes, terrible season. Terrible season. No matter what side of the fence you sitting on, as far as anything that's going on with this team, it's been a bad season. Uncle
absolutely,
Quan,
absolutely.
Panthers experience. He said, "Yo, what's up, y'all? How you doing,
Uncle
Quan?"
Quan, what's going on, man?
Yeah. Vietnam, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Ooh, look what the wind blown in. Well, we ain't seen Vietnam in a minute. What's good
Hey,
with you, Vietnam? What's the deal?
hey, man. Look, hey, life, man. Let me tell you, life blows you in one direction, might not blow you back for for 5 6 months.
Let me find out he down there hanging on Bragg Boulevard. Let me find out.
Rock Jones, how you doing, man? How you doing? So let's get this mess turned around. Yes. Oh
I'm
yes,
with you on that,
indeed.
Rock.
Indeed. Let's
Definitely
get
with
this
you on that.
turned a round. Vietnam said, yeah, man. So I've been working and staying out of the way. Hey,
I feel
that's
you.
all you can do. That's all you can
I
do, man.
feel you,
I ain't
man.
mad at you. Not one bit. Not one bit. Okay. Let me go ahead and drop this link in the chat here. If anybody wants to come and join us. All right. Y'all come
All
on
right.
in. But we are going to start off, okay, and this ain't got to be very long, Tony. Because this is something I know we want to get out the way here. But
What was that?
season review. I
You
figured
know,
this. Go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I want to say I figured this here would be a quick subject here. You know,
Very,
we
very,
might be
very
able to
quick.
sum this up in a couple words apiece.
Well, you know what? It's funny. It's funny because when me and you talked about doing the season review at the end of the year, we was like, we're gonna break it into quarters. You know, like the
Mm-hmm.
first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and the fourth quarter of the season. But
Mm-hmm.
two great minds think alike because every damn quarter was the same. So we might as well just sum it all up and just one conversation, make it quick, you know,
Mm-hmm.
be done with it, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. So I'll let you go first. Give me your thoughts on this season as a whole.
Uh, very disappointing
Mm-hmm.
and underwhelming. Um, yeah, yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna drag it out. Um, it's definitely nothing what I thought it was. Got hopes up high. You know, try to remain optimistic as possible. You know, throughout the year, it wasn't until probably like the last 3 or 4 games of the year, which was probably too long to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. But those last 3 or 4 games of the year, I was like, man, damn this. You know what it is? It is what it is. You know, at that point, I was ready for the season to be over with, so we could start looking for 2024. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
knew it was gonna be a major shakeups. You know, hopefully, you know, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but I think we're getting ready to look toward a 2 to 3 year rebuild. And hopefully somebody in the front office can have the balls enough to come to the mic and say, yes, this is a rebuild. Call it what it is. Don't try to sell people on hopes and dreams and people get their hopes up and then you
Mm-hmm.
put a shit product out there, you know, out there on the table. That ain't gonna work. That's like putting potato salad with raisins in it. I don't know who house you're gonna walk in with some potato salad with raisins, but you're liable to get effed up. So just be honest. Be like, hey, listen, I'm coming with some potato salad. It may have 1 or 2 raisins in it, but just bear with me. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, give me options. Give me options. Don't sell me no dreams and tell me how good your potato salad is, and then I open take that aluminum foil off and it's a goddamn pound of raisins on it. No,
Oh God.
don't do that.
Hey, no disrespect to anybody that likes potatoes in their raisins. I mean, raisins in their potato salad out there.
No, I'm giving them all the disrespect. I'm giving them all the disrespect. Because you put potato salad in your raisins, you you have issues. You have issues, and I'm calling the
Mm-hmm.
people on you.
Yeah. And see
Yeah.
what's up, Doug? He said, see, I don't know about rebuild because the Texans was supposed to be in a rebuild, but look at them, they are in the playoffs today. Yes, that is true. Okay, Now, if you go back and you look at last season, okay, and the turnaround that we had after Steve Wilkes took over, okay, so we got the run game, we got an identity. They stuck with it. It was working. The offense was putting up points. And what our issue was towards the end of the year, the defense kind of let us down in the Tampa game. But we were without JC Horn that game and some more players. But you can say, and I thought this too. I did not think this was a rebuild. I thought we were, a quarterback away. All right. And I still, I know Q and the boys are going to disagree with me with this wholeheartedly, but I still think we could have been successful with Bryce Young. But it was just so many factors into why this season just went straight downhill. I mean, straight downhill. You can the scheme, okay. Frank Wright's offense, I don't think it fit none of the players on this roster. I think he was stubborn. He wanted to make this work, and he was going to make it work regardless. You can go back to uh Tepper wanting Bryce over Stroud, because me and Tony, we both wanted them to draft CJ Stroud. Okay.
Facts.
Anybody can look and say, you can definitely look back and say, he was the obvious pick for us back in the draft last year. Okay. But we drafted Bryce Young. We don't think he's a bad quarterback. We still think we can succeed with him. And we're gonna rock with him. Okay, we're gonna rock with him.
Facts.
But I will say this, and I'm gonna hold this down. Okay. There will be no more he's a rookie next year comments from me. Okay. Whatever coach comes in, whatever offense comes in, Bryce is going to have to look better. I don't care if it's his first year in a new offense. This was his first year in a new offense. I really just think that this offense was terrible, for the roster. I think it was a lot more going on behind the scenes than what everybody knew about. Even Hayden Hurst came out and said that there were too many voices on offense. So it was a lot going on, and I do think that plays a role
Yeah.
into it as well. But the
Well,
train to me, the training wheels are off. Okay, he got to go out there. He got to do something. And that's why I will agree with everybody, who's down on him. Next year is he got to do something. There's no excuses next year.
but we can talk, we can debate this subject all day. And what I will say, yeah, I saw that. That's why I was laughing when you was talking Rock. Rock, don't do it. I'm not. You listen, Rock, don't send me no plate. Don't send me no plate, and I'm not coming to your house for no cookout, no nothing. You just yeah. But listen, um, I agree. I agree with you on a lot of what you said to an extent, because even though the scheme wasn't right or what have you, and don't get me wrong, a lot of it is on Bryce's shoulders because he is the quarterback. You are the franchise quarterback. But I will stand on this until it is fixed. The trenches, dog. You cannot expect, nobody can expect Bryce Young to have a year like CJ Stroud when your offensive line was shit. Period.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is. So on top of that, bad offensive line, bad scheme, and it seemed like the there was miscommunications a lot of times with the play caller. When Bryce drops back and hit his back foot and he's ready to throw the ball, but there's no receivers looking for the ball. Or they're all running 10, 12-yard hitches and everybody's turning back looking towards the ball. But like
Hold
I
on,
said, I'm
Tony.
not.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me interrupt you real quick. I do apologize. Those weren't 12, 13-yard hitches. Them damn hitches were across Mint Street down to Little's Hardware. If anybody in Charlotte knows about Little's Hardware, you know how far that is from the stadium down Mint Street. Them damn hitch routes were all the way down to Little's Hardware. Okay, continue, sir. I'm sorry. My bad. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm just saying that basically everything needs to be fixed across the board. So whoever the new offensive coordinator, head coach, or whoever it is come in, they need to build a scheme that fits Bryce Young, and they need better offensive line play. That's the RBG. I
Ah,
can't. I shouldn't even got him started. I should I shouldn't got him started.
hey, nah, it's all good.
Trying to have a serious conversation here, Rock. If you don't
Hey,
mind,
go
sir.
no, go ahead, Tony. Next time I'll bring that comment up after you finish talking. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I'm just saying. Hey, basically it's enough blame to go around. So everybody needs to get better, pull their part. But not only does it start with the offensive line, it's going to start with who's the new head coach and offensive coordinator, and what kind of scheme we bring to the Panthers this year. That's where it's going
Mm-hmm.
to start, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, now I want to go back to and also just like Doug said, right here in this comment, if y'all new to the channel, please hit that like button, subscribe, help us out. We are at 898 subscribers. We are 102 away from our goal of 1,000. All right, we want to get to 1,000 because we want to start bringing in some things to the channel. We want to do more giveaways. You know, we want to be able to just help the channel grow, and most of all help give back to all those people that have helped our channel grow. So like I said, if you
yeah.
haven't already,
Help
please hit that
us.
like button and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you.
Yeah, help
All
us
right.
help you. That's what
All
we're
right, but
looking forward to.
I want to go back to a comment that Doug put up. He said, we feared that we had too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. Now, I will say this. I was one of those ones. I was excited about the coaching staff because, in my feeble mind here, I was thinking, you can't go wrong with that much experience. Okay. But
Right,
obviously,
right,
that's why I call myself the armchair GM. I sit on the couch, I sit in my chair talking my little bit of junk about stuff that I know, from what I can see and what I think I know. All right. So
right.
obviously,
That's your
yeah,
shit.
it was too many chefs in the kitchen. You know what I mean? So but yeah, but I was one of those. I was like, this is gonna be great. They're gonna have all this experience, all these you know this pot of just wisdom to pull out of, and everybody's
Right,
going to benefit, and it did not work out like that. No how, no way. Okay.
at all.
um yeah, and then Vietnam replied. He said, "A lot of this is true, Dub. We can't lie. I can't lie about them trading Deshaun Watson and giving them bullets that they needed to rebuild." Okay, and Doug replied, "Yeah, that Watson trade did pay dividends for the Texans organizations, for organization. I'm sorry, not organizations." Okay, and this is what I wanted to get to. And so he said we could have gotten some ammo by trading Burns, but we didn't do it. That was draft capital that we needed. Okay. Now, mind
Facts.
you, mind you, if anybody out there watch Dragon Ball Z, if I could get Bowman to build me a time machine, if I can go back and tell the Panthers, like, hey, go ahead on and trade Burns and get those picks, I promise you I would. I promise you I would. But hindsight is 2020. I do like Brian Burns, and I hope that the Panthers can work something out and keep him. But looking back at it now, the way this has gone, it's just like crap. You know, we would have we did all this. We jumped up to draft Bryce, but we still would have had some ammo and still in the gun to shoot with. And now we're just kind of like, all right, we got to wait till the second round. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Rod Jones
yeah.
said after a year like
We
this,
could definitely talk more about that Brian Burns situation later, because that last comment he made on the exit, I was like,
mm,
that's crazy. Yeah.
what do you say?
We said he basically played this year scared of getting hurt.
Oh, I did see that. I did
Yeah,
see that. Okay, yeah, we'll get into that later. We'll get into that. Roger
yeah.
Jones said after a year like this, we can't be too serious. We've been through enough pain in 2023. Exactly, exactly. Vietnam Bomber. Okay, so yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Another anime fan in the house. All right,
Y'all need
but
damn
but
video games, bro.
Oh no, that's classic anime, man. Dragon
Oh,
Ball Z.
oh, Dragon
Come on,
Ball Z.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a classic, dog. It's a classic. But yeah, but to kind of sum up this whole season in review, man, it was a bad season, terrible season all the way around. Glad it's over, and I'm glad that now we can start this process of rebuilding. Okay, and Tony, I do agree with you because once I get mock draft Mondays going back again, I'm definitely going to have a few where it's just going to be like, okay, that 33rd pick and probably the next one or whatever I can I've done a couple so far off camera. I've even traded back up into like the late first round and picked up my offensive tackle. You know, I traded back in the
Mm,
first round, and then I traded some of those, later picks to reacquire some of the earlier picks that I let go of to get in the first round. Now, mind you, probably won't work out like that in real life, but it's some scenarios. But
right,
yeah,
right.
it does start in the trenches, man. And the thing that's crazy is because I do think this offensive line did a hell of a job last year. Okay, not this season, but 2022. And that's why I say I think with the right scheme, they can be okay. That's like Bradley Bozeman. Now we loved it when Bradley Bozeman got in the year before and started, and it seemed like our whole offensive line turned the corner and started playing like we know they could. But this
Right.
year, like I say, I'm still going to attribute it somewhat to the scheme because there was a lot of plays where Bradley Bozeman snapped the ball and was just standing there looking like he didn't know whether he was supposed to block left, block right. He was watching somebody go past his guard, but just kind of stuck his hand out and turned the other way, looking like he was expecting somebody to come from from the other side. So
Yeah. It
you,
look
you
it
know,
really it really looked like the offensive line, the blocking scheme confused them.
mm-hmm,
Like, it's like they never got comfortable with the blocking scheme. They never got to the point to where they trusted the person on either side of them.
mm-hmm,
And that plays a lot, especially when you're in the trenches, especially as an offensive lineman, you know, um, to know what each man is doing to your left and to your right. And it's like they had no clue what each other was doing. There was no continuity there. There was,
mm-hmm,
no rhythm. It was just all in disarray. And when you have that within your offensive line, your quarterback is going to suffer. I don't care who it is. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, whatever. They are going to suffer. Period.
mm-hmm. Yep. Get back to Doug here. He said, "Can you blame him though, Tony?" He said Scott fumbled the bag with Burns or helping the organization with draft picks. Yeah,
I agree. I
yeah,
agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Um, and it'll be interesting to see what they do now. The Carolina can still franchise tag Brian Burns for this upcoming year,
mm-hmm,
so they do have that bit of ammo in their pocket. So technically,
yeah,
Brian Burns can and will be here for another year.
yeah,
So, but right
and
now,
I
as it
think
stands, we got 6 picks in the draft and no first round pick. That's
yeah,
what whoever the new GM is and whoever the new head coach is. That's what they're working with. Now, I did see with the Panthers of interviewed a couple people. I know they interviewed uh um my boy Suleiman, the capologist, I call him. Yeah, they interviewed him, and I think yesterday they interviewed Champ Kelly, and from all points, from what I read, that interview went overtime. So clearly, they must have
mm,
liked him, or, something like that. But I think he's supposed to be interviewing with someone else today or Monday. But yeah,
he also uh Dan Morgan. And let me tell you, I love
yeah,
Dan Morgan. Love Dan Morgan as a player. But the GM thing, I'm going to give him the.
Why
I,
why why you gonna give him a thumbs down?
I'm sorry, man. I'm kind of the mindset, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I'm kind of the mindset. Anybody that was around this crap this year don't need to be in control of it going forward.
Now around it or have like major input because I don't think he had like major input. You know, especially on on the decision making side of it.
Okay, I give you that. I give you that.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
think
just
you're right though, but I think the decision makers who are already out the door, Scott Fitterer, Frank Wright, the guy, they're probably going to be some more people that's going to be let go. They did a
hmm
virtual interview with Ivero. I do like the fact that they did a virtual interview with Todd Monken and also Mike McDaniel. I mean Mike McDonald, the defense
hmm
coordinator for the Ravens. So they interviewed the offensive coordinator and defense coordinator for the Ravens.
okay. Fed Nam said that's why James Campbell should be fired. You know what?
Mm,
I still kind of like Camping, for what he did with the offensive line last year. I kind of think his hands were tied in this one. I don't think the scheme fit what. Yeah, that's a hard one because to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be gone. I'm pretty
with
sure he's gonna be
Campbell,
gone.
like you said, he has to coach what they are told to coach. You know,
Yeah,
he doesn't have a choice in the blocking scheme. The blocking scheme has to fit the scheme of the offense. They can continue with the blocking scheme that they had in 2022 because they wasn't going to be a smash mouth north south type of offense. So that blocking scheme wasn't going to fit. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. He had to roll with the punches.
yeah. This is true. Yeah, like Rod Jones said, gotta let the new head coach pick his own coach. This is true. This is true. Now, Camping and Tabor were holdovers from Rule, and I think that was contributing to the turnaround that the offensive line had in the latter part of the 2022 season when they were just pushing everybody out the way. Running backs were running for chunks of yardage, and they all looked
Right.
great. So they said, okay, let's go ahead and keep Camping. Special teams were never really issue, so they kept Tabor. So that's why we still got them too. Okay. Vietnam said
Hey,
how,
yeah.
and I like getting more money on my income taxes 2 years ago.
But in all fairness, though, I mean, Kempin is just the offensive line coach. All he really
Uh,
is doing is teaching technique. He's not in charge with no play calling, the run game, the passing game, anything like that. The man is teaching the offensive line.
Mhm.
I can't put that on his shoulders and say, well, he has done squat. He did exactly what the offensive coach, the offensive coordinator, and head coach asked him to do. This is the scheme that we're going to run, and this is the blocking scheme that we need. We need you to
Yeah.
teach this to your players.
Doug,
hey fellas. First,
what's
happy
up?
New
What's
Year,
up,
happy New
Doug?
Year.
Yes,
I
Happy
talk
sir.
to
New
y'all
Year, bro.
behind. I talk to y'all behind the scenes. Again, before I say anything, let's get two fans in the stands to 1K. They've been preaching this really since December. They're knocking on the door. The door's slowly creeping open. So again, share the live, share the link, and definitely show these fellas support, man. Like they
Appreciate you.
said, a lot of YouTubers are
Appreciate it,
right
man.
there knocking on the door, and we're really trying to do something special going into 2024. Before I go
Appreciate it.
any further, like I said, I ain't gonna take over, but I'm gonna say this: y'all have to be honest about James Campbell. One thing that we thought going into the season when we hired Frank Wright was that we knew Chris Tabor's special teams were gonna be great, and offensive
Mhm.
line was gonna be the stronghold of the offense. And if people don't remember, James Campen came out before they did their exit interviews. He said, I love this group. This is my second year with this group. We shouldn't be going back from day one whenever we drafted Icky or we brought in Cade Mays or I had to teach them alignments. I had to teach them assignments.
Mm-hmm.
This is year two going into it, so I don't have to say, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to run things." So for me, that's like we didn't see that throughout the season. You saw Icky regress. You didn't really see any changes where I don't know if it was coaching on him or it was him saying, "Hey, I want this particular offensive line to be the starting five." Because if it was him saying, "Oh, I see these potentials," guards being filled, he did a horrible job. And I've been
Yeah.
preaching James Campen to be fired for the longest. I understand CJ said, he can't, but you got to be honest with yourself. That was our strongest unit outside of us getting all new wide receivers, us going out and overpaying for an overage running back, and then you drafted a rookie quarterback. Everybody was saying, "Oh, the offensive line is top 15. They shouldn't be regressing." Everybody said that. And what happened? They regressed. Only person that did not
Facts.
regress is Taylor Moton. Taylor Moton, if people don't know, was the top tackle for a passing grade for PFF this past year. Everything else was depleted. So I do blame James Campen on that because you spoke before, you pulled the wagon before the horse. You should have
Mm-hmm.
just said, "Hey, this is year two. It should be an easier transition." No, you came out and said, "I don't really have to, train. I don't really have to really coach them in practice. They know what I expect of them." And it didn't show.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, Doug. Hey, CJ, put that comment by Rock Jones up back up real quick. Damn you, Rock. Go Tar Heels. Okay,
Go
I'm done.
Heels.
Carry
Go
on.
Heels.
Go here. Hey, hey, but Doug, to kind of counter what you were saying a little bit, Vietnam had this comment. He said, Camper hasn't done squat lately. I'm sorry, this was the comment. Moulton and Bozeman look horrible. Okay, now I was God, I was watching another show a few weeks ago, and somebody in the comments was talking about Taylor Moulton,
Mhm.
and I gotta agree. There were a lot of plays, a lot of plays, and I think Taylor Moulton's play sometimes got masked by the complete, just horrible play of the rest of the line, because there were quite a few plays where Moulton looked lost, just like everybody else. He got
Yeah,
beat on quite a few plays in
Mhm.
some of these games. But now I will say he was probably our best offensive lineman throughout this entire year. But I do, that's why I always say there's enough blame to go around. And I do think
Facts.
Taylor Moton should shoulder his fair share of the blame for the offensive line being bad. Because like I said, there were a lot of plays where it was like his man got free, but the rest of the offense, the other side of the offensive line, all they men got to the quarterback before his. So
Well,
go ahead, Doug.
CJ, let me say this, and if nobody knows, I'm gonna throw the estimated number out there. How many different guard combinations did he have to go through throughout the season?
a
Oh,
lot.
it was a lot, but I'm just talking about Moton one on one though. I'm just
But
talking
okay,
about him
so
one
with
on
one
one.
on one though, okay, so I can't really say anything because we're talking one on one. I agree with you, but
Yeah,
again,
yeah. I'm just talking
that's where
one on one.
that's where I blame Camping because the game is all about adjustments from the start to the finish
Thank
and from
you.
the front from the back. Again, if you go four and out, you're looking at that tablet trying to figure out what's really going on. What alignments do we need to fix? That's where I am totally shocked that once Deuce got released, why didn't we release James Campen as well? I don't know why. I don't know who the assistant is, but as soon as we
Mm.
let Deuce Staley go, I already know Frank was gone. But I'm talking about if you look at the assistants, you let Josh McCown go, you let Deuce Staley go. Why was James Campen still here?
Well, wasn't the whole thing when they let them Deuce and McCowan go? I don't know if it was true, but the rumor was they were
About the
the
quarterback?
yeah, they were the ones
We
who
don't
wanted to
Well,
know,
bench Bryce.
and that's
their
Yeah.
one thing.
their
That's one
ties,
thing you never
their
know.
ties, their ties to Frank Wright. They was quote unquote uh being called Frank Wright yes men. They were the ones
Mm,
that um brought in specifically by Frank Wright. So I think personally, I think it was only right to let them go if you're gonna let Frank Wright go as well.
okay.
I got you.
All right. Let me see. Vietnam. He said it was the short y'all dropped earlier this week. I think. Yeah, it was. It was during the Packers game. Vietnam. Where I dropped that short about Taylor Moton. I think it was like fourth, and he was third and short, or fourth and short. Where it seemed like the blocking on the play was going left. All right. So Taylor Moton. I think it was Quay Walker or it might be. It was somebody. He really let his man just go right past him, and then it was like he looked to his left, and all of a sudden realized like, oh crap. He tried to turn back around to the right to kind of put a hand on the old boy, but it was already too late. He was gone. And in that short, I put on there that if Moton had picked him up, Chuba had one hell of a cutback lane to run through because the rest of the offensive line
Hmm.
had that left side just completely smashed down. And then there was about a
Hmm.
5 yard gap between um, Gabe Jackson and Moulton if he had to pick that man up. And there was a comment I think somebody said in there that on that play, Taylor wasn't supposed to catch that man coming around the edge, but that was the guy that came in and made the play. So,
You know, so what they were down blocking to the left, and a lot
mm-hmm,
of times when you down blocking, if you going to the left, the right
mm-hmm,
guard, I mean the right tackle, sometimes picks up that end because if the running back is the if the running back is supposed to pull a counter back to the backside, that's the lane that their running back should hit. That's the bit between their right tackle and their right
mm-hmm,
guard. If you look at that same play, the first three running plays, though, that's the same running play that Green Bay ran against us when we played them. Aaron Jones gashed us like three plays in a row on the same damn play. Down block to the left. The what they did though, not the right tackle, they had a tight end to that side. That tight end blocked the end, and Aaron Jones pressed to the left, cut back, and hit that lane, and he was gone.
mm-hmm.
Each and every time.
Hey,
But even with talking about Taylor Moton though, I'm just talking about for me, and I know he's a very good, solid tackle. Someone that hasn't, I don't think Taylor Moton has missed a game in like five or
he
six
hasn't.
years.
He
So
hasn't.
you could definitely depend on him.
Mm-hmm.
To me, his $16 million a year is worth it. Like I said, I just think this scheme did not fit that offensive line. They don't
At all.
have the athletic ability to run a wide zone blocking scheme. If you want to talk about a down south north south smash my football like we did in 2022, and then we had Deontay Foreman also, running the rock,
Mm-hmm.
that fits more up their alley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that when you look back at it, a lot of that a lot of that blocking scheme masks some deficiencies in our offensive lineman. Because even last year when we signed Bradley Bozeman and I did every week I was doing like a player profile. And one of my profiles about Bradley Bozeman, I said that my main thing about him was he's a little stiff in the hips. He doesn't have the athletic ability. Now, if you want to just put him in, play bully ball and go north south, he's good for that. But he does not
Facts.
have the athletic ability or flexibility for that wide zone offense. And I think that's also that scheme also showed more of icky blemishes this year. So I don't
Oh,
think
whoa, whoa,
even
whoa. Nah, hold on. Before you get into icky, Tony, let me say this. CJ, you know how Tony tried to throw a jab at Evero. about the defense, right? When he said 3 consecutive plays whenever
Uh
we played Green Bay, that was really a
He,
jab. Yeah, you know that's a
no,
jab.
I wasn't throwing a
Nah,
jab. I was just stating facts.
huh.
nah, but look, only reason why I say that because I know Tony would be like, how like everybody want to blame Bryce, but the defense can't stop. Everybody needs to look at Evero, but Tony know I'm messing with him. That's the reason why I had to say that because I know he'll throw a jab at Evero, and people don't be really seeing the jab that he throw at him. So look,
I, but but did I say anything that was not factual?
you
Did
did
what
not, but
did,
you did not, but did
did
you throw a
Aaron
jab at
Jones not
Evero though?
did they not gash us three straight run plays with the same damn play?
No, you right, but did you throw a jab at Evero though?
Nah, honestly, I was not trying to throw a jab
Okay.
at Evero.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Duh, he
I wasn't
duh, he
trying to
went
slide one in there.
he wasn't trying to. He just caught back and slung that joke. It
That
wasn't a
that
try.
hey, I'm glad you know him. I'm glad you know him because
Y'all,
I said
it
man,
it wasn't a try.
y'all need to stop. Y'all need
Yeah.
to stop.
Hey,
Okay.
hold on 1 second, fellas. MDJ 365, man. How you doing, man? Welcome back to the channel. And happy
What's
New
up,
Year to you if
MDG?
yeah, happy New Year to everybody
I'm
that's
sorry,
come in the chat.
MDJ, not MDG.
Oh, I'm sorry, MDJ. My bad. Damn. My bad.
Yeah,
And put some respect on your name. I'm sorry, brother. But I want to go
yes,
back
sir.
to Rock Jones' comment here. He said Icky gave up 18 sacks this year. Did he?
yeah, he
I
did.
don't think.
He did himself. That is correct.
Woo. I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna say that
Damn.
probably sound about right.
But see,
Damn.
I would say this, and it lose to I think it's his name, Faven Tom
Who?
26. Scott Fitterer has fumbled the bag with most of these draft picks. I understand Icky is a
He has.
Carolina boy. I understand he went to NC State, but if you look at it, where we misdiagnosed Brady Christensen. Brady Christensen was supposed to be left tackle, move him to guard. I really
Mm-hmm.
think once we drafted Icky, we should have saw what he looked at guard before we pushed him all the way to left tackle. And again, I think that
Yeah.
goes with your
Mm,
scouting department, and I think that goes with your coaching. That's another reason why uh, Camping should be fired because you should know your personnel. If Icky is struggling at tackle, us as not we're football minds, but we're not coaches. If we can see his strength is run game, why not slide on the inside and move somebody on the outside?
Yeah.
okay. Pause. I got a question for you. I got a question for you on that very notion. If you this year right here, we just talking about this year, right? If you were to move Icky on the inside, who you put on outside left tackle?
Okay, answer this. Is
Because
this
we
is this
no
before
no
Brady Christensen got hurt?
no this year right here,
Hmm.
2023.
Hmm.
Yeah. Cause what game was it when Brady Christensen got hurt?
Went in like game 1 or 2.
Yeah, it was
I
it
think it was the first game of the season.
Correct.
yeah,
I think it
Atlanta.
was the first game of the season. So after game one, which I can't remember exactly how Icky played game one. But after game one, let's say start of game two. At that point, if you want to move Icky on the inside, who was going to take who would have been able to play left tackle this season?
Ricky
Nobody.
Lee.
On our roster, we had and this is crazy to say, on our roster after week two, we had nobody with the talent worth starting at left tackle.
So
It would have made
whose
it would
fault is that?
have made it,
Whose fault is that?
oh
Federer.
That's Scott Fitterer's
Thank
fault.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, that's
So
Hmm.
Scott
that's
Fitterer's
where I'm
fault
getting
all
at.
day long.
I'm so happy when that news happened Monday where he got fired after we played Tampa. It was a long time coming. No,
It was.
I don't want nobody to lose their job. But when you
Hmm.
underperform or you don't do a good job, you got to go.
Hmm.
So for
Yep.
me, it was
Yeah.
a long time coming, and it showed um, that I think David Temper is trying to turn a page. I don't know how far or how long that page is going to be turned. I don't know how many words are going to be on that next page. But that was a big step for him. And I think a lot of people questioned him if he was going to actually do that first step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rod Jones said draft the left tackle at 33, Brady, or sign a free agent. Yeah, like I was saying in my mock draft, I traded up to like oh god, I traded up to like the 28th pick. I think it was either Buffalo or Detroit or somebody. And and that's what I did. I drafted a left tackle in the first round when I traded up. But but that's and that's the thing too. When we get a new GM in, and I think they need to clean house with that whole scouting department.
Oh, it will
That
happen. But
that
see,
guy
we're gonna be
that
behind the ball though. I need people to understand that too, because
mm,
if you clear a scouting department, more than likely, go ahead and read that comment because I saw that comment in the chat too, either Tony or
mm,
CJ. I actually like what MDJ said about
yeah.
Icky.
He said, "Go back and watch that Icky draft. When we made the pick, you'll hear the analysts say he would be a good left tackle in this league, but a Hall of Fame guard if moved." They said it verbatim. I
I
believe it.
remember that. I remember hearing that a couple times as well.
Yeah,
I remember hearing that a couple times. They were like he'll be
yeah.
a good left tackle, but he'll be a Hall of Fame All Pro guard. I
Yeah,
do remember that.
but with this scheme and what they're trying to do, you can see it play after play. The ball is snapped before Icky can kick that left leg out
Facts.
and get in
Facts.
position. The damn defensive end is damn near at his shoulder or behind
Facts.
him,
Facts.
and the play is over.
But see,
It's too late.
I blame Frank Wright. When Frank Wright came out, I think Tony and myself did because I think CJ was out. And I'll never
Mm,
forget, Tony kept saying, how can Frank Wright say that we are not a run first type of team or we're not a downhill run team? When he said that, you look at what Campen had already in place with this offensive line. And I think that does go to someone's point that said Campen's philosophy as the O line coach did not go schematically with the scheme of the offensive coordinator being Frank Wright and Thomas Brown. But you have to know your
mm-hmm,
Right,
personnel in order to run a scheme. That's where
right.
I think you have to be smart with this coaching, this new coach, this GM. One point I wanted to make, I think, and I don't know if people are upset about it. I wanted Adam Peters from San Francisco. I think
mm.
when the Commanders got the guy from what's the Warriors OGM? I know he was the NBA analyst. I can't think of his name. He was the Warriors GM.
Bob, the Golden State Warriors OGM that
Yes,
stepped down a couple
yes,
years ago.
yes.
Um,
You said
but
his
I know
name.
you're talking about. Yeah,
So
yeah.
think
His first
about
name is
this.
Bob.
So he was where the 49ers located in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Right.
the Warriors are in Golden State slash San Francisco. You're telling me that him and Adam Peters never had any conversations? Because if you really think about it, for Washington to go ahead and get a GM that early, there had to be some type of conversations between Bob and Adam Peters where he actually knew the philosophy of that man. So I'm reason why I'm bringing that up is I think a lot of people are frantic or thinking that we're behind the eight ball. Only reason why I say we're kind of sort of weird behind the eight ball is going to be because of we're hiring a head coach before a GM. But the only thing as well is I know I want Ben Johnson, but you also have to interview three minority head coaches. So the
Mm-hmm.
thing of it is,
Right.
Washington is ahead of the eight ball. They have their GM, but they haven't did any minority interviews right now. Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, has done two. Rather, it's in person. I know we're doing Zoom calls right now.
Yeah, Zoom
Right. Because you can't interview any potential head coaches before January
22nd.
22nd. The only one that can do any interviews right now is Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
um, somebody else can do an interview too. Or are you talking
Who?
about in person or are you talking about Zoom?
No, I'm
Before I
saying
said it.
Jim Harbaugh is the only one that can do in person
Oh,
interviews
facts,
because he's coming from the
facts,
college.
facts. Cause,
He's coming
because
from the
it's a
college
the
ranks.
Mm,
22nd is the day that you can bring somebody on campus. Have them for dinner or
Right.
whatever you want to call it. Um,
okay.
Right.
that it's and reason why I brought that up because I wanted Adam Peters. I wanted Adam Peters very bad, very bad, but I look at the names and some names that I see. I like. And again, it's a lot of chatter because until you know the pairings of a GM and a head coach, it's like a puzzle, and we really don't know what's really what. But
Mm-hmm.
Right.
again, CJ made a good point. The scouting department is going to have to be cut, but at the end of the day, we're going to be behind the eight ball because now you have to figure out. I think the Shrine game, the East and West Shrine game, is the 1st of February. So,
Mm.
and that's here in Frisco. So
Yeah.
we really have to hopefully have a coach before February 1st.
Yeah. Oh, hey, now, Doug. Now, hold that thought because this is something I've seen people go back and forth with about. Um, me pull this up here real quick, and we'll get into our next topic here. Okay, the new GM,
Hmm.
right? Do you think now? I've seen a lot of people on both sides of this fence. Do you think we bring in a new GM first, then the head coach, or does it matter? Because a lot of people are saying, what does it matter? Just go ahead and hire your coach, and then the coach can say, "Well, I want to work with this person as a GM." Okay.
Tony, go ahead. Yeah, unless you want me to jump into it, go ahead.
Um, I think personally, I think that's a organizational decision. I don't think there's no right or wrong way when you look at whether you want to do the head coach first or the GM first. I just think that whoever you hire first, the next person, if you hire the head coach first, you have to make sure that whoever the GM is, that the GM and the head coach have some type of relationship and that they're on one accord. I think that's paramount either way you look at it. Typically is usually most teams hire GM first and the GM and the owner or the GM by himself will go out and get a head coach. So there's some head coaches out there that I like. I didn't think Todd Monken would be an option because he only has 1 year in the league, and but look what he's done with that 1 year coming from Georgia. Um I wanted us to go after Todd Monken when we fired Matt Rule. You know what I mean? Because I like the scheme that pro style scheme that he ran at Georgia. So I think it depends. I think it depends. I don't think there's no right or wrong way you should go about it. So it depends on the ownership, but I think that the two need to be on one accord, and they need to build this thing and work together.
Okay.
Okay.
CJ, you want me to go or you gonna go?
Yeah. Go ahead, Doug.
All right. I will say this. One thing that I do like that we have changed. David Temper's not making this decision. This decision is coming off of research and basically a agency that has helped organizations that have won Super Bowls to get their coach and have actually had great hires as well. Um, when I look at it, I think in these interviews you have to ask either the GM or the head coach that you want to hire, who do you like as a matchup? You know how
Mm.
you have like four options, and you remember like when you wouldn't have the order of the person or the match on the opposite side, and you had to do a zigzag, or it's like lines over each other. Like this person likes this person, or that person likes the third option. Third option
Mm.
goes with one. I think in these interviews you have to just get a gist of who, like, I'll just throw Ben Johnson out there because again, that is the comparison. Ben Johnson is supposed to be connected with Adam Peters. Who else does
Mm.
Adam Peters like out there to be a head coaching option? Who does Evero like to be as a GM? Does Vegas assistant GM like Evero to be the possible head coach? I think you have to have those
Right.
transparent conversations out there when you're having meetings with them. I wish I was a fly on the wall so I can be like, okay, these are the pairings that they're looking at. This GM likes these three head coaches. Because I think once you get either or, We should be able to know who likes who, but we won't.
Yeah.
We won't. But the typical way of the NFL is you hire your GM and then the GM hires the head coach. Again, I think you can't go
Right.
wrong with this because an outside organization of the Carolina Panthers is helping you dictate, be decisive, and be direct of who you're going to hire. So you
Hmm.
can't really be mad at which way that we go right now.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I'm I agree with you, Doug. Um, I'm kind of the, I can say old school, but me personally, I think they should hire the GM and then hire the head coach. Now, mind you, if they really want Ben Johnson, they're theoretically, not theoretically, but it's a possibility that they may have to wait because you never know. In some strange scenario, the Lions might make it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm just saying, it's a possibility. I ain't saying
No,
it's
no,
gonna
you're
be
right. You're
facts,
right.
but and if that's the case, I say go ahead and do like Washington did. Go ahead and get that GM in here and get him started. Okay, go ahead and get him, catch him up to speed on what's going on with the with our team, finances, salary cap, players, contracts, free agents, all that stuff. Go ahead and get that man up to speed. Go ahead and get him in on the process of hiring a new coach. So, like you said, if and in my personal opinion, I doubt Ben Johnson is coming here, but and there's a lot of people that they have requested
Facts.
interviews for that we don't know exactly when they're going to be available to have an interview because their team still may be playing.
Hey,
So
hey, CJ, can
Right.
I allude to this too? Think
yeah. Oh,
about
hold on,
okay.
Doug. Hold on one second. I just want to
Yes,
say,
sir.
what's up, the Niner gang? He said, I would like to see Carolina get Adam Peters, but Washington snatched them up. I would say, Niner gang, welcome to the channel. I don't know if you've been on here before, but we appreciate you stopping through, bud. Go ahead, Doug.
What's up,
No, my
Niner
bad.
gang?
My bad. My bad. This
No,
is
no,
the
you
point
good.
this is the point I want to make too. The Patriots helped Carolina out because they really didn't hire well really interview anybody. Mayo
Mm-mm.
was a coach and they gave it right to him. I don't know if people heard the reports about the Raiders. It looks like Pierce is about to be their head coach.
Okay.
Then if
Yeah, I
you look at
saw
the
that.
if you look at the Chargers, more than likely Harbaugh is going to be the Chargers head coach. So 3 out of the 8 possibilities of head coaches, you only have 5 left. If Ben Johnson does go to the Commanders, that's 4. None of the
Mm.
people that we wanted outside of Ben Johnson, our whole board is still available.
I don't know.
Outside of
You got some in Panther Nation screaming Mike Vrabel. I
but
don't know
yeah,
what
but
what what
only
you feel.
reason why only reason I won't say that name, we haven't requested them. If we requested them, then I'll talk about them.
Right.
So so
Yeah.
I
so
agree with you. That I agree with.
So again, when you really look at our bit board, and I know we use the word bit board with draft boards, but if you look at our head coach bit board, Ben Johnson is the only name that can possibly be taken right now going to the Commanders. Everybody else that we have interviewed has not been attached to any other openings. And I think
Mm.
that actually is a good thing because who do we really know who Tennessee is going to get? So that's another team that I am worried about. Atlanta, if Atlanta gets Steve Wilkes, good. I mean, I hate it for him because that's how much we hate Atlanta, but that's
Yeah.
not a person that we want. So that's where I'm looking at with these coaches. You have to look at the bit board and who we are asking to request for interviews. Again, the only name that we're hearing is Ben Johnson. Trust me, if you can't get Ben Johnson, don't tell me that, oh, we got to go like what we did with Frank Wright. That's where I think it's good that you have an agency that's actually helped. Like the team I'm talking about, the LA Rams. Nobody knew that
Mm.
Sean McVay would be who he was, but the LA Rams used the same agency that we're using right now, and he was able to bring LA a Super Bowl. So where I'm looking
Okay.
at it as, you really don't know how the agency pulls or plugs information. But again, with you having an outside source of helping you, I think we do have a chance of a a chance to actually get a 1A 1B type coach.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Cool. 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 But you know what? What I want to do here, fellas, while I have this up, the GM tracker that's on the Panthers website. I wanted to bring this up just to give everybody that's watching, if you haven't seen it yet, who the Panthers have requested to interview for the GM job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it says on Monday, the team requested permission to interview the following: Giants GM Brandon Brown, Buccaneers assistant GM Mike Greenberg, Chiefs Vice President of Football Operation Brant Tillis, Eagles GM Alec Hallaby, Saints assistant GM Kai Harley, Ravens Vice President of Football Administration Nick Mateo, Colts assistant GM Ed Dobbs, Raiders intern GM Champ Kelly. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and here we have Brandon Brown. He is currently assistant GM with the Giants. And I'll read through these little descriptions they have. In his second season with the Giants, he helped rebuild a roster that went to the playoffs last season. Prior to joining the Giants, he spent 5 years with the Eagles, where he was director of player personnel. Also worked for the Colts and as an intern with the Jets, and as a recruiter at Boston College. A former defensive back at Fordham, he also holds a law degree. I heard somebody else say that if he was a part of that Daniel Jones extension, that they don't want him here in Carolina. It was, they said if he
That's
had anything
crazy.
to do with Daniel Jones, they was like, nah, we're gonna go ahead and move on from him.
Like, now we
All
good. We good.
right. Okay, also, and I think they added some names onto this list that I didn't read earlier. Mike Dissner, he is the chief operations officer with Detroit Lions. He said the Lions' former senior vice president of football and business administration, where he was over the team's cap and contracts, was promoted to his current position in 2022. He has responsibilities in both business and football management, overseeing the football department and the Lions strategy and revenue teams. In 2020 and 21, Disney was named to the Athletics NFL 40 under 40 list. He also worked for the Cardinals, Patriots, and the league's management council. Okay. Ed Dobbs, who's currently the assistant GM of the Colts, he said, I'm sorry, Dodds. I don't know why I said Dobbs. Dodds interviewed for the opening here in 2021, but withdrew his name for consideration during the process. He has been with the Colts since 2017, having previously worked with the Seahawks front office with former Panthers GM Scott Fitterer as they built a Super Bowl winner there. Dodds got his start as in the league as a pro scout with the Raiders. Okay. Mike Greenberg, assistant GM for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In his first season as assistant GMs, spent 12 years in football administration with the Buccaneers, working on all aspects of the salary cap, contract negotiations, compliance with the NFL's collective bargaining agreement, as well as the club's financial and strategic planning. He has helped the Bucs win 3 straight NFC South division titles while navigating a complicated cap situation. Okay. And it is a whole lot more of these guys on here. I'm not gonna go through and read it all these. I don't want to bore everybody to death. But we have Alec Hallaby with the
For
Eagles,
Philadelphia Eagles. Yep.
Kyle Harley with the Saints, Champ Kelly, who Tony, you said they did a virtual interview with him already, right?
They
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, they just did a
Yeah.
virtual interview with him.
And
Okay.
Dodge has an interview tomorrow with Carolina Panthers as well. It just got
Okay.
reported.
All right. Nick Mateo, Baltimore
This
Ravens,
I like that
Dan
one right
Morgan.
there.
Which one? Which one do
Dan.
you
Yeah.
like, Tony?
Nick Material, because he has a relationship with Todd Monken and Mike McDonald, the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator from the Ravens. So you
Hmm.
can easily see if Carolina was to go in one of those directions. If I'm sorry, if Carolina was to select either one of those
Mm,
coordinators as this head coach, this man right here could likely be the GM because they already have a relationship together
Yep.
and they're
mm,
going to be a core coming in.
See, that's that
okay.
pairing that I'm talking about. That's a good point.
Gotcha. Wiley,
Yeah.
how you
Yeah.
Yes,
doing,
sir.
sir?
I'm
What's
doing
going
good,
on,
man.
man?
Ain't nothing to it, man. Season over.
What's good?
Opportunity, opportunity to, for fresh new things to come through, huh?
Hey, man, let me tell you, man. I was telling everybody earlier. We all are on different different terms is how we feel about the team and what went right, what went wrong. But we all can agree that we are happy that this show is over for right now.
Yeah, you ain't lying. We were 32 of 32 majority of the season. So
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
man.
good.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
who you telling? And everybody that don't know, this is Wiley from the Panthers Germany podcast. So y'all please go over and check out his channel and subscribe. All right, and we appreciate y'all for that.
Yeah,
But
I see
What's
y'all
going
guys
on,
on
Wally?
that. Hey, I see y'all guys on. I'm on that Baltimore team. You know, my thing is GM and probably offensive coordinators to work out good. Uh, Simply
Yeah,
because if you look at the pattern of what Ozzy did, and this guy learned under Ozzy, those guys
hmm
get rid of guys, but they seem to figure out a way to get other guys in the door, and that's what we need.
Hey,
Me
facts.
like I
personally, yeah. Go ahead.
no,
Yeah.
I was gonna say this, fellas. I'm on. I was just on Twitter. A name that we possibly may have a lead right now, and shout out to Tony saying his name. Is it Champ Kelly from the Raiders? Looks like he's in the lead right now for the GM spot. I don't know. I don't know if you
mm-hmm.
guys follow a lot of Panthers Twitter, but I just went on, and it looks like that is possibly the GM move right now. How I feel
Yeah, they
about it.
said he had a great interview, and it kind of like went the word that was used overtime.
Overtime, they did.
So
They said
they
that in the quote.
yeah,
Okay.
So, and then he also CJ, he has a lot of connections. They're looking at how he worked or he was on the same staff, even though he wasn't coaching, but he was on the same staff with the Bengals OC when he was with the Broncos, and he also has connections with the Miami Dolphins OC as well. So
Okay.
he
Talking about
already, like I said,
Callahan from the Bengals.
yes.
Okay.
So that's where
hey,
I'm saying. Go ahead, Tony.
no, go ahead, go ahead. I want to ask you a question after you say what you said.
Oh,
After you say what you
I'm
said.
saying that that's the pairings that we were talking about. We really don't know, but you have to go back in history and look at who used to work with who who has the same agent. Did they cross paths beforehand? That's where I think the work is going to be done once you figure out either or candidate. Because if I'm not mistaken, we've already talked to the Bengals OC as well, and that's not a bad hire. If people
Bill
really look at the
Callahan?
quarter, yeah, if people really look at the quarterbacks he's worked with and what he's done, that's not a bad hire at all.
hmm
No, no, it's not. But I was gonna say with the Champ Kelly hire, if Carolina were to hire Champ Kelly, and for some unknown reason the Raiders didn't hire Antonio Pierce,
We
would you
already
think that
know.
would be a great hire?
Um, I'm not quite sure, but I will say this: I thought you were gonna go with the Max Crosby because Max Crosby said that they do not bring Pierce back. He's gonna request a trade, and I was saying, imagine having
Mm.
Max Crosby in Carolina, and you had his former interim GM being your GM, so he knows what to get to bring him to Carolina. That's where I thought you were gonna go with it.
Oh,
Oh
shoot. I don't,
no,
I
I
believe we
didn't.
can
I
pay
didn't
both
know
of them.
Max Crosby said that. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't know Max Crosby. I didn't know Max Crosby said something like that.
Max Crosby
Hey,
just said it. Not, I think he came out, and you know how the Panthers and David Tepper didn't listen to our players crying out saying, "Hey, we want Steve Wilkes to be our coach." Nobody had that
Right.
power or trade clause where you can trade them. Max Crosby said if Pierce is not his head coach next year, he's requesting a trade and he will not suit up for the Raiders.
mm, shoot, it's kind of
Oh,
wild though
alrighty then.
because I think if they had done that, here Teffa would have been like, all right, bet, peace out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to get this one comment right here. Nine again. He said Panthers could somehow get Mike Tomlin. That's the move. Has history with Tepper already. But if I'm not mistaken, Doug, and tell me if I'm wrong. AJ, the guy with All
AJ,
Sports Talk,
Pro
yeah,
Sports
the
Talk.
history with Tepper and Tomlin hasn't what
It's
wasn't
not
good at
good.
all.
It's not good.
Yeah,
It's not good.
it's not good because when Tepper was minority owner of the was a minority owner
The
of the
Steelers.
Steelers, he
Yeah,
campaigned to get rid of Mike Tomlin.
he
See,
sure did.
it's
He
Yeah.
not
sure did.
good. It's bad. It's bad.
Okay.
You can't. You see. You trying
I
to
was gonna
clean it up.
say,
You trying to get the
oh,
man
okay,
fired.
gotcha.
So you know what, TJ? You all right, man. You're a nice guy. He tried to get the man fired. Man, good. Man ain't had a losing season his whole career as a coach. He's trying to get him fired. And you talking about, oh, that's not good. Come on, CJ. Come on, bro.
No, 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 no. No. Hey, look. Okay. Hey, look. Hey. I said what I said, but yeah, but it wasn't. Because I wanted to make sure I got it right because I remember when I was on Doug's show last week. That's one of the things that they brought up. I just want to make sure
Correct.
I had the words correct. That
No,
that's why I
no. You
said
quoted
not
it
good.
correctly. I
Okay, all
mean,
right,
stand
it's
cool.
really
stand on
Okay,
that
just
yeah.
shit, cuz. Stand
it's
on
re-
that.
Okay, yeah, that would be trash. That that would
no.
be
I mean,
trash.
but
See?
CJ, we really can go deep because AJ's a Steelers fan, and it's really more uglier than what the public knows about David
Oh,
Tepper.
yeah. We
Oh,
trying to
okay.
clean it up. We try to we just say he's petitioning. We ain't saying the
Yeah,
real
Yeah.
stuff. We ain't saying the real
But
stuff.
but that tells
Yeah.
you a lot about somebody. And this guy's now our owner.
yeah,
Like you said, that man hadn't had a losing season since he been with the team, and for whatever reason, Tepper was just like, "Nah, I don't want him here no more. He got to go." So I'm glad he was just a minority owner
yeah,
Right.
because Tom Tomlin ain't hasn't done anything but show you what a good coach is supposed to be and what a good coach can do for an organization.
Facts.
Yeah, yeah. All right,
Facts.
let me slide on down here. The rest. Now, this is one I wanted to get into because me and Tony was talking about this a little bit earlier. Dan Morgan. Okay.
hmm
Doug and Wiley. How do y'all feel about if they were to say, you know what, Dan, we're gonna go ahead and give you this GM job?
Yes, sir.
I would disagree with it, and I don't think they
Whoa.
are.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
I don't think they are, and the reason why I don't think they are, I think what they're doing is going to be a two-headed monster. Um, you're going to get a GM, but he's going to help. Or if I'm not mistaken, he's good with personnel,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly. But again, I need that agency, and I can do more research on my part, but I need the agency to let David Temper know. Let your GM be the GM, and if he wants Dan Morgan, don't push the issue. But we know how
Mm-hmm.
David Temper is. If he likes something, he's gonna push that issue on you. So I don't agree with it, and I think CJ made a good point. People don't really understand. Before we had Luke Kuechly, we had Dan Morgan. Dan Morgan wasn't the IQ wise, but he was your hard hit linebacker that would go bust something up. And I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
him for what he did for Carolina. But now your time is past where, I appreciate what you did try to do with help and Scott Fitterer, but I mean it's time to, just go ahead and pack your bag up and go left.
Okay, Wiley.
All right, CJ. Check it out. I think we need to keep him for this reason.
Uh-huh.
He understand what the Panthers mean to the Carolinas. The other
Mm-hmm.
people you bring in, they have no. It's like when we played the first game against Atlanta. It's like the head coach didn't realize, though it was the first game of the season, it was a rivalry game. He did not prepare for that game that way. The team was not prepared that way as a rivalry game. This guy understands who we are, and personally, I think we need to keep him and then elevate Evero to head coach. Just me. Just me.
Okay. I said this before, and Tony got on me with this. I gave it the big thumbs down because, in my opinion, I was like anybody that's been around this crap, in the front office this past year or two, just let them move on. But but now, if they were to keep him as the assistant general manager and kind of keep him in a role where he's helping with you know I guess scout not really scouting players, but bringing in free agents, since he's played the game and he knows what it takes, maybe something like that. But I'm more the mindset we need a clean slate. Love Dan Morgan to death, but I think they should just move on. Just go ahead and get them a new GM, new staff, just everybody. Just get them all gone.
So CJ, he tutored under Seattle. He also tutored under Buffalo.
See,
Mm-hmm.
Both Seattle and Buffalo
Wiley, I
has
appreciate you saying that.
the reason why I said it because for this reason, both Seattle and Buffalo seem to have been able to win or in the running for winning their division over the last, since I think since they've been up there, what 5, 6 years in Buffalo and
Since
Seattle
they
since the
got
whole time.
McDermott.
Yeah, since they
Yeah,
got McDermott, and then Seattle since they had Pete Carroll. I'm just saying, he learned from people that knew how to build a program correctly. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying through that process of learning and in understanding our situation, when I'm talking about two states, one team, I think that to me, that guy seemed to have the pulse better than bringing somebody that has no kinship to the Carolinas,
that don't
trying to
mean
figure
nothing.
it out, and then, right, they'll be just like Matt Rule was. Let's keep pounding. Get rid of that shit.
But no, hey, Wally, can I say this real quick?
Go ahead.
I will say this, and you said something, and I was thinking this when Tony and CJ were letting me know they were going live. I think what somebody said, Shaman Durham's been in Buffalo for 6 years, probably going on 7. The problem that I have with that is who's their GM, who was supposed to be the GM for the Carolina Panthers?
I know him. The little dude, little white
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah. What's his name?
Oh,
Bean. Bean.
Bing. Yeah,
Bean.
Bing.
Yes. Was it Scott Bean? Scott
I
Bean?
don't think it was
Something like
Scott.
that.
It was it Brandon Bean? Brandon
Brandon
Bean.
Bing. There you go, Brandon Bing.
Oh,
I
okay.
will say this. Carolina fumbled the bag when we did not give it to him.
Hello.
And I and,
True.
and I and I and I've been saying that ever since Sean McDermott went to Buffalo and how Buffalo stole Brandon Bean from Carolina. Because I really feel like if we had him, regardless of the coaching, whatever, we wouldn't even be in the crisis that we're in right now.
Mm.
I,
And
that this is a hard one, brother. The reason why I said is this: show me the talent that Buffalo has had that they built through the
but look at the
draft.
trades. Just look at the
No, the
trades.
trades are fine.
So
You're
you got
right.
to think
The
about
trades
it.
are great.
They
No,
they
hold
they
on.
they got, they got Diggs. They got
Yeah.
Diggs. They
Hell, they
they
got half of
drafted Josh
Carolina's
Allen.
roster.
They drafted Josh Allen. Look at their offensive line. Look at their offensive line. Everything that Brandon Bean has done, he has a track record. Where I'll say, what can Scott Federer and Dan Morgan show you?
Oh, I think he's better than Scott. True. However,
Now,
the trade we did with the Miami for that
in Dan
linebacker.
Morgan's in Dan Morgan's defense, he's never
Mm-hmm.
been GM. He's just been
True.
assistant GM.
True. True.
Brandon Bean and Scott Fitterer both have been GM, so he hasn't had those full responsibilities as those two. So you definitely can't equate
So
what
Tony, I
he's
did that
done
for a
thus
reason.
far for them to,
I did for a
huh?
reason because look at it when Brandon Bean got interviewed for the GM spot in Buffalo. Did he was assistant GM, correct? But he also had other
Right.
offers out there that
Yes.
people are looking at him to be a GM. Who's interviewed Dan Morgan other than the Carolina Panthers? Thank you, CJ. I see the hand. Thank you. Thank you.
Bro.
Hey,
Yeah.
I hear y'all guys, but you know what? It's like this, right? We sit here, we watch football every week, and then we look at college or professional, look at college. Well, we always say there's something to playing ball too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Always what?
There's
Something to
something about
playing
playing
ball.
ball. You understand the player. You understand things that as a like me. I'm a basketball guy. I love football and I love the analytics of it and I love the process. But I ain't play football. So there's things that I will miss that Tony will
Yeah,
pick up.
we
He'll
know
pick
Wiley.
up. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just.
Wiley,
Hey,
didn't you drop 47 points on somebody from UNC Charlotte one time or something?
no, no, no. See, there you go, CJ.
I'm sorry. I'm
See,
sorry,
see,
Wiley.
you see what CJ do. You see how dirty CJ is.
Hey,
See,
I'm
CJ
sorry,
go to
Wiley.
That
get
was
on
Hey,
here.
that,
you
that
lobbed
was
that
a
one up, man. I
championship.
had to dunk it. I'm
That was a
sorry.
championship intramural game.
Now, what I'm saying is this. Nah, ain't no intramural game. Tony. I will turn the camera on. You'll see what's happening in the middle. But anyway, what I'm saying is this: there's a perspective that, as a player, especially playing at a high level, that you understand, especially went through the grind of learning, that you can provide better than a guy that's straight up analytics. Just me.
Okay. Well, how about this? Okay, if they keep Dan Morgan as the assistant general manager, but bring in somebody else who does have the analytics, has done stuff with contracts and working with this, that, and the third, kind of the best of both worlds. You know, you got Dan who can bring his experience from the player side.
So,
You know,
so,
maybe
so
that's what this was supposed to be with Scott Fitterer, but you know,
and that's what I think it was supposed to be a two-headed monster. But I will say
yeah,
this: when it comes to a job, and I know how we've all been hired by somebody, when they keep adding people to the candidates list, what does that mean? You're not the guy, right?
Now you're not it.
true, true,
So
true.
so let's just be honest because again we all work. We all had to get hired. I mean, if somebody has their own business, they have their own business. But when you
Mm-hmm.
look
Hmm.
at it, even when you have your own business, you put the application out there. You pull applications. You say, "Oh, these three gentlemen I like." You interview them. Oh, they're not exactly what I need. Let me go ahead and reopen it. Think about the
See, that,
list because again, when you look at it, whenever we actually ask for people to actually interview with us, why didn't we automatically ask Dan Morgan to be number one?
hey, but
Because
see
because
the
we threw people before Dan Morgan, then we threw his name in the hat, just like we
but
did
Hey,
with
they sure
Taper,
did.
and
They
and, ju-
sure
ju- and
did.
and just like we did with Taper and Evero. I don't think Evero's gonna be a head coach right now because again, if I'm a D coordinator, I'm making $10 million, and I know this defense. Why would I leave? Why would I
I hate
leave? But
I
a lot of
hate
people. Go ahead, Wally. My bad. Go ahead,
I
Wally.
hate here's the problem though.
Go ahead.
I would agree with your assessment if we were dealing with a person that knew how to hire somebody. We have been proven. Forget the current coach, right? I mean, current owner. Look at this. Look at the Carolina Panthers past. We only had yeah, I think we had three good head coaches, but the process in general in the Carolinas had not been good. I'm saying, especially this guy hasn't known how to hire nobody. So you know when they're gonna bring things to him, he most likely is gonna mm, put his own flavor, his opinion in there, which gonna screw something up. I'm just saying, I'm trying to be neutral, and I'm trying to look at all the candidates, and I'm trying to see who has a understanding of our particular situation. That's all. And it's kind of hard when, like I like the guy out of Philly, right? The guy that's on the list out of Philly. But again, he's out of Philly. He understands that market.
Mm.
Understanding
But
this market, I think, is important. Go ahead.
no, well, I will say this. I agree with you with that, but I don't know if you heard us when we said we wish we could be a fly on the wall where we can actually just hear the questions that they ask. Because I know Carolina is not the sexiest choice for everybody right now. Because again, you don't have a first round pick, but you have pieces on this roster that can help you get second round picks or trade up and make scenarios. But see, it's
Mm.
almost that's where I say you want somebody that wants to get their hands dirty. Just like D'Amico Ryans, and I will allude to what you're saying with Dan Morgan with D'Amico Ryans.
Mm-hmm.
D'Amico Ryans was a former Houston Texans player. The Houston Texans were a laughing stock of the NFL because they traded Deshaun Watson. They let J.J. Watt go. J.J. Watt didn't want to be there.
What about D
Andre
Hop?
Andre. I was gonna name a whole bunch of names. Andre Johnson, D Hop. I mean, I was gonna go through the whole list. I mean,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
if you really look at it, D'Amico Ryans wanted to get his hands dirty, and I think anybody that accepts this job knows I have to get my hands dirty. It's not gonna be the cream of the crop. It's not gonna be the 49ers. It's not gonna be Philly.
Hmm.
It's not gonna be
But
the Dallas Cowboys. Just look
uh-huh.
what Dan Campbell did with the Detroit Lions. That's the reason why he has respect from the city, and that's the reason why his players play for him. He got his hands dirty, and he started from the ground all the way to the top now, where they're in the playoffs right now, hosting a wild card game this weekend. So that's where I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying I can care less of what you had. Like I said, Dan Morgan can be what Keith Pounding stand for, but are you going to get your hands dirty? You're not going to say, "Oh, I got this
Yeah.
job because of my prestige or what I brought to this organization." I need to know that you're going to get on your hands and knees, get in that dirt, and actually build this roster back up.
Mm. Okay. So I think what he brings differently than other guys is he understands the current roster. Because I think a lot of guys are gonna come in and try to turn the whole roster down. If you really, just me, if you look at what we got and you keep the pieces instead of doing what we've been doing over the last 2 years, you can be back in 2 years and hosting a playoff game. But if you burn it all down, it's gonna take you 3 to 5. I'm because we have good players that we got
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to sign or use as trade, right? Use as trade, but it's not been proven that we've been able to draft those type of players. So unless this person comes in and has a track record of drafting outstanding players over and over again, i.e., the Ravens, I wouldn't trust them.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
that's a fair point because
Yeah,
outside of the
that's a
first
fair
round,
assessment.
yeah, outside of the first round and maybe a couple, picks in the second round and later, our drafts have been as one of my best friends Daniel like to say, just straight up slaw, just bad, just terrible, And but
Mm.
that's a fair point, Wiley. That is a fair point. But with all these, one thing about all these people, I don't think any of these people have any kind of um they're all assistant GMs or vice president of football operations and vice president of football administration like Samir Suleiman is, but they're all coming in with no like general manager, experience. And Doug, to get back what you were saying, and I'm sorry, I think it was Wild was saying about the Panthers not being the sexy pick. Now, mind you,
Yeah, I said that.
okay, I'm with you on this one. I want somebody to come here and really wants to get in the trenches and work and build this thing back up because Carolina might not be the sexy pick, but for somebody who just wants a check, I mean, there's a lot of money that can look like Holly Berry, and Tepper's got plenty of.
And see, and I
You
think I
wrong for
think
that,
that's the
CJ.
point. That's the point where Quan is saying too. I think we have to
Mm-hmm.
get it right, and I think we are going to get it right. Again, everybody, and again, we're Panthers fans. I know Quan is a younger Panther fan. Tony and CJ are older Panther fans than I. I'm the middleman. When you really look at it, I think the best thing David Tepper could do is let me get a sports agency that has hired three great coaches for three different organizations. One has won a
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl. That's the
Yeah.
best thing that David Tepper could have did for Carolina is actually getting it out of his hands and saying, "Hey, I have the final say so, but here's the data for it."
Hey,
Again,
hey,
I
hey, Doug, I have a question before you finish that.
go
You
ahead.
think he had that, or was it the NFL forced him to?
Nah, I ain't gonna say no. No, do you really think the NFL forced David Tepper to do anything?
Hey,
Let's be
throwing
real.
that beer on somebody. Hey, throwing that
Let's
beer
be
got the
honestly
worst
real. Do you
record.
really think the NFL forced David Tepper to do anything?
I think they coached him along. You threw that damn beer on somebody. You had the worst record over there
Wiley,
since you've been the
Wiley,
owner.
don't, Wiley, don't start that shit.
Okay. You telling me
Don't,
it's not embarrassing?
don't come over, don't
Okay,
start that with these wild
so
conspiracy
Wally,
ass
did you
theories.
hear? Did you possibly hear one of the reasons why he threw the beer? And if
Oh,
that reason is true, I appreciate David Tepper for what he did.
what was the
So
reason? What was the
so
reason?
so this is one reason that I've heard. The reason why he threw it was because Marquise Haynes was in the booth with him. I can't see. I've been trying to look for pictures all this time to see if Marquise Haynes was um in the press box with him. Supposedly, one fan was messing with Marquise Haynes. Remember, he came off a concussion,
Mm-hmm.
and a fan was going back and forth, and you can tell the window was open. So you saw the fans were looking in, the fans were talking to him. and they said David Tepper got upset because they said something about a head case or something with his head, and out of anger he threw his drink. Does that still make it right? No, it does not make it right.
Nah.
But if that is true, I definitely appreciate David Tepper doing that. I do. I do. Because just
Okay.
think
Okay.
about it. I mean,
Standing up for his player. That what you saying, Doug?
yes, yes. But
Okay.
again, I don't know. I don't know how much truth is to that story.
All right. Well, let's
Yeah.
let's not
I
mess with that.
still I,
Go
I,
ahead.
I still I still don't think that would have been I still don't agree with that decision by David Tepper because you are the head of the organization. You have to carry yourself with a certain amount of decorum. You know what I'm saying? You have to present yourself in a certain in a certain way. Cause
Oh.
Facts.
everything else everything else beneath you is gonna be held is gonna be held according to your actions. So when your actions ain't good, that's gonna make it
Hmm.
look real funny, real funky about everything else. And I don't
Yeah.
think unless somebody was up there trying to throw hands with him or something like
Yeah.
that, I think David Tepper should have kept his cool and let
Let it
whatever
be.
security was there or
To
whoever
handle
was
it.
there
Correct.
Yeah.
yeah to handle it.
All right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
And
so let me
hold
do
on,
this.
fellas.
Hey,
Go
I
ahead.
Hold on,
wanted to throw
fellas.
something in there. Go
Hold
ahead.
on one quick. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna say, Mr. Hunky Dory said hi, folks. Made it here before the show ended. I also wanted to thank him for the super chat for the $5. He said, do we blame the
Thank you,
scouts or
sir.
do we blame the GM for our selections? And we'll get
Oh,
into that in a minute. But I wanted to say thank you. We appreciate that. Love you. Thank you very much. But go ahead, Doug.
This the only problem I make because I see my co-host Quan in the chat. And
Hmm.
I hope Tony remembers this because I don't know how much he still knows about Dallas news. Can somebody tell me two things that Jerry Jones did that did not get pushed out in the media that I think should got pushed out in the media that he did last year? But David Temper is in the limelight for throwing a drink on somebody. If y'all don't know, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I don't know.
okay. But before you tell us, me and CJ had this discussion about a week or two ago, but right when it happened. And this is the thing that I want people to remember. Regardless of what anybody has done, whether it's Jerry Jones, Donald Sterling, Daniel Snyder, whoever, whatever they said, however they ran their organizations, whatever they done, it was not caught on tape. I.e., I'm gonna give you the Ray
Whoa,
Rice
okay, okay.
best
All right.
example.
Let me
Hold
tell
on,
you, Tony, because that's not true. It was.
hold on. I'm gonna give you the best example out there. It's the Ray Rice example. Everybody knew Ray Rice was dead wrong for putting his hand on his wife. I don't condone a man putting his hands on a woman, period. But
Facts.
we all can agree that it made it worse. However you felt about the situation, it made it 10 times worse when you saw it actually happen on video. It's one thing to hear about something, but
But
it's
to
totally
see it,
different when you see it. So
facts.
David Tepper's fault, the reason why it was in the limelight, you got caught on camera and it was exposed to millions of people. Not what somebody said, not what uh, having a mistress, but behind closed doors, or done got three or four other baby mamas, or whatever the case may be. What you did immediately was seen by millions and millions of people, and that's how he got thrown in the limelight. If it was never caught on camera, I don't think it would have ever been a big of an ordeal as it is right now. But
Okay.
he was on tape, he was on camera, caught red-handed throwing a drink on or whatever you threw on
Yeah,
somebody.
he threw a drink.
Come on, dog.
All right. So
You
no,
you
no,
you,
no.
you can't.
So I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna break it down with okay. Two things Jerry Jones did. Jerry Jones was drunk one night and got a DUI, and it was on camera. It was on street cameras. A DUI made somebody total their car and gave them hush money so they couldn't sue him. That's number one. You can look
Okay,
this up.
let me
But
ask you this.
hold on. Let me finish, Tony.
Go ahead, go ahead.
The second one is It's it's alluded that he has a daughter out here that tried to sue him for not actually claiming her to be his father. I mean her father. Well, guess
Right,
what Jerry
right,
Jones did with
right.
that? Paid money for that so it can go away and be hush money. The last one I'm going to allude to is look at the Boston Celtics old head coach. He lost his job because he slept with another woman and he was not married.
Okay.
Didn't see a video on it. Didn't see a video on it, but he lost his job.
He lost his job because he broke a rule. You
What's
was
the
not
What
rule?
supposed
rule
to
was
be
that?
What's the rule?
he
What's the
was
What
rule?
rule was
listen,
that?
What rule
he
is
was
that?
not supposed I'm trying to tell you, he was not supposed to be fraternizing with an employee of the Boston Celtics. He was the employee of the Boston
Is that
Celtics.
is that
The
is that
young
in
lady
black
was
and
the
white?
employee. The
Is that in
young
black
lady
and
was
white,
an employee.
or that was alluded? Because I need to find that out. Because you know how many people we
It's in
know that
black
No,
and
have.
white.
it it
It's in black and white.
it's in black and white, and they talked about it. Everybody talked about it on ESPN, on whatever sports network you want to bring about it. It was mentioned even when Brad I can't remember the used to be the coach, but now he's the GM of the
Stevens.
Celtics.
Brad
Stevens.
Stevens. Brad
Brad
Stevens.
Yeah,
Stevens.
Brad Stevens and the owner, they came out and did a press conference. They mentioned that he broke a team rule. It was a team rule that he broke. It wasn't not nothing that happened outside of the Celtics. And Neil, not Neil Long, but
Neil Long. You said the
Yeah,
right
Neil
name.
Yeah,
Long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Neil
that's the
Neil
right
Long.
Long.
That's
name.
a
That's the right name.
Neil
You're
Long
right.
caught him with a girl at Chick-fil-A or something, and then they got caught up in the
not
media.
not
No,
Chick-fil-A.
he broke a team rule. He broke a
Hey,
team rule.
you
Period.
we getting it. I think we get into the minutia. CJ, excuse me,
Yeah.
C Dub. But I think what the problem is this, and I said it earlier, and I think Tony, I may be wrong now. I think you talked outside both sides of your mouth there. I said that the problem was with David Tepper is he embarrassed the NFL. Now, that's the reason why they forced him to hire this team, so that way he gets a decent record, so he can get off the damn radar. Because he continued to down this road, keep paying all this money for all these coaches, keep doing dumb shit. It's gonna cause the NFL to lose money. It ain't
So what
about
about
him.
Snyder?
It's
What
about the
about
other
Snyder
team.
though?
Snyder didn't do as bad as this because he wasn't affecting the other team's money. He was
Snyder
screwing
Snyder
up
had
the
cheerleaders. Yes, he did. He had cheerleaders getting paid as escorts.
I got you, but
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is this. That's off the field. This is on the field. He has the worst record. And not only that, he's hiring coaches and overpaying them. He's gonna mess up the coaching money.
Okay.
He's gonna
But
go ahead.
but but Wiley, my only pushback on what you just said is, how in the hell is David Tepper going to cost the NFL to lose money? The
He's not.
NFL is going to make money regardless if
Regardless,
if if if,
Okay.
if the Panthers don't win another game for the next 3 years, and
I
David
got that.
Tepper go and hit 5 people in the mouth.
I
The
understand that,
NFL is going to
but
make
here
money.
I got you, but here's the problem. All the other teams got to pay their coaches more because this fool keep upping the ante. He's fucking up
no,
the process.
no, I don't believe that,
No,
Okay, all
Wally.
that's
right,
not.
all right,
No, that's
all
that's
right.
not true.
That's that,
I don't.
Wally. I don't
I don't
understand
believe
that
it.
one. I don't understand that one.
So he all of a sudden got smart.
Okay, so Wally, if we're
Hey,
not talking,
I mean,
hold on,
hey,
Wally. Answer this. Look at his business side. Business side, he's not a dumb man.
But guess what? His business side says what?
He don't.
As
He's
a
not good with relationships.
Yeah, because why? As that businessman he actually is, they don't have partners. They are what? Scavengers. They tear down, find businesses that are weak, find the weakness, tear it down, and sell it out for scraps. Then you move on. That's his business. And we all know that. So that type of
no,
businessman
no,
that was great
no,
at
no hell, we don't. No
so
hell,
we
we
don't know
don't.
that.
That
So
man,
you
that man
so
is
you
an
don't
invest in is. Come
what?
on, Wiley. Come
What?
on now. Come on. Don't
So,
do that.
so hold
Don't
on.
don't don't don't
I bet you if you
don't
went
do
and pull
that.
up
Let's.
the definition of his job that he had last, it'll say what I just said. 'Cause- 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 'cause
there's no job that he has. Like he still owns Appaloosa Investment. He's an investment hedge funder. That's how he
Okay,
made his million.
as a hedge fund guy, what do hedge funds do?
What does that got to do with the price of tea in China?
Because
We
what I'm
talking about
trying to
him being
say
the
is
owner of the
what
Panthers.
what I'm trying to say is this: the thing that made him great, the business acumen that he learned, the thing that he's really good at, that thing is that, and that's the point what you're missing. Because
Okay. No, I'm
if
not.
I'm
I'm not missing it. I
all
think
right,
because David Tepper has said, even though he is stubborn, even though someone that's a billionaire made all this money, we know however he made it, he's probably set in some of his ways, and he's even admitted that he don't know everything about this business. There's probably a lot of things that go on behind closed doors. And you know what? I think he's smart enough to say, you know what? I've probably tried it my way the first two times. It's not gonna work. Let me fall back. Let me make sure I get the right people in place this time and let them do the football thing. Because one thing he has said, he's not a football guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's evident. And that's something that we said when he first took ownership. He needed to put football people in football positions and let them do their thing, and he needed to fall back. He didn't do it. He didn't do it the first time, he didn't do it the second time. So this time I'm thinking and I'm hoping that he really has learned his lesson, especially with the egg on his face because of the incident that he pulled in Jacksonville. I think he has no choice but to fall back and put people in, the people that he hired, to put them in position and trust that they know what they're doing and give them the opportunity to do so. That's what I think. Because no matter what we say about David Tepper, no matter how much we hate him, want to get rid of him, whatever the case may be, he's a damn owner. And he ain't going nowhere unless he
Unless he
want to go
want to.
somewhere.
Facts.
you're right.
Facts,
He
Tony.
he ain't going nowhere.
Point,
But the thing
point
is,
blank
Hey,
period.
but
I
I
don't, I
think
don't
we're
care
gonna be
if you
one
want to
more head coach.
march on Mint Street or throw a concert in
That
Bank
don't
of
matter.
America.
That don't matter.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one more cycle of head coach GM before he learns his lesson. I hope it's not so.
But why?
I
But why?
hope to
But why?
God it's
Why put
not
that in the atmosphere, Wally? Why put that even in
because
Right.
the atmosphere? Why?
because there's too many people out here that's putting hope. Hope is not a method. There's too many people that hope out there. When people get their feelings hurt, then they go out there. Oh my God, they're acting crazy. No, how about having a level head and go? This guy we're dealing with hasn't met bottom yet. He's not at bottom yet.
So why?
Once he
What
hit
I hear from
bottom,
you
he'll
is
turn.
emotion, because
I'm I'm
emotion.
I'm
Reason
starting
why
to
I
think
say
I'm starting
emotion.
to think Wiley at the cafe having a couple drinks. Don't cut the
Yeah, I mean,
camera
yeah,
on, Wiley.
I agree with you,
Don't
I'm
Tony.
not
cut
at
the
But
no.
camera
see,
on.
Hey,
I,
I'm right here. I'm not at no
so,
cafe.
so, so, so,
Tony, Tony,
so, Wally, I got a
See,
question.
Tony. You see how I do, CJ? Tony had to act fresh. Look at it. He ain't right. Ain't nothing wrong with you. See, look at it. It's 2024, Tony. I'm here for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey,
oh my
why?
god.
Let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
The reason why I hate you say that, because I really feel like, again, David Temper has learned his lesson in a way, but you got to really look at it again. This decision is not coming firsthand by him, and we keep repeating this. This is coming from an agency that has actually found great coaches and for great organizations. So that's where I'm saying, you're saying hope. We all hope. But one thing we can say is this decision is not coming from David Temper. It's coming from an organization and an agency that has actually done great and done great things to find coaches for other organizations.
So see Dougie. So I have a question. Is he gonna be gone during the draft process? Is he gonna go on
Well,
vacation?
okay, answer this question. What owner has been gone? I'll just give you
God.
this. When you
Okay.
look at it, when you look at the draft this past year, Houston had their owner in the draft
See
room.
see Doug.
Indianapolis had their owner in the draft room. What does it
I
matter if
got
he's
that.
in the draft room or not?
Because this guy seems like okay, now he got his head coach, right? He need to change the process. He's been part of this whole thing. Either he doesn't know it or not. Most people are intimidated by a billionaire. So if he's sitting there, they're looking. I'm just saying, I don't know this for fact. Me personally, I make my decisions regardless on who's looking at me. Some people though, they go, well, see what the owner wants. Let's see what the boss wants. And then they check what they're saying based on the body language of the person that's in charge. He may not say it, but he's looking at his body language. They go, he ain't good with this. All right, next guy. Divorce yourself of the process. Get the football people opportunity to do their job, and then
Mhm.
celebrate when we do a good job. That's all I'm asking.
I,
That's
I
it.
think we can
I
have
agree
both.
with that.
I think we can have both. I'm not saying that the kick Tepper out of the room. I mean, it's his team, and like Doug said, one owner is usually not in the room during the draft. You know, most of them are. But while they, like you said, you hire your GM, you hire your coach, your scouting department, all your operations guys, everything. As the owner, you and your wife, you know, sit back in the room and just chill out.
CJ, look at you now. See, there you go. See,
Hey,
see,
look,
Tony, you want to keep him in check, Tony. You saw what he did.
hey,
You saw what he
hey.
did.
You want me to say it again? You know, the owner and his wife, you know, y'all get you some, you know, hopefully they don't throw no more Milwaukee's best on nobody. But you know, get you a drink, you sit down, let the football
Get some
people
damn
do what the
Haagen Dazs or
football
something.
people do. Okay, let everybody do what they do, and maybe we can have a draft, you know, this year where it's actually somewhat of a success from top to bottom, you know, from beginning to end, not just we hit on the first round pick, the second round pick is kind of done, and then the rest of the draft is gone 2 to 3 years later.
Let me. I want to ask you guys a question, and y'all can go in. It don't have to be no particular order. Who
Mhm.
would you like to see as the GM head coach combo?
Wally or anybody want to go? I already gave you mine. Um, the is it the Raiders? I can't think of his name now because I've been
Champ
I
Kelly.
yeah.
Champ Kelly.
So I like Kelly. Or I've read some negative tea leaves about Philadelphia's player personnel guy. I don't know how much that is true, but if you look at Philly and just look what how he's been able to do when he's been up there in Philly, he hopefully he's been able to learn something. But again, I've heard negative tea leaves with the guy that we have interviewed. The combination would be the Bengals OC. I've been hollering Ben Johnson until it happens. It happens. I know we requested an interview for him. I don't know if the interview has actually went through. So I'm just going off of people I know we've interviewed right now. Um,
Mhm.
so that would be my combo right now. Out of also, I think Muckin. I do like that. I do like what the Ravens have been able to do this past year. So um, it's a lot of options, but you really don't know Tony until we know either or. I think once you get either or, you can really start matching up who fits what, who has what relationship.
No, I get it. I'm just
No,
wishful
no, no.
thinking.
That's just
I'm
my
just
answer. I'm just saying I can't wait till
yeah.
we figure out which one, so we can start having these more in depth conversations about it. That's all I was saying.
Right. Right. Go ahead, CJ.
I was gonna say Hallaby from the Eagles. Now, mind you, the Eagles are a mess right now, but you seen what they've been able to do as far as bringing talent in free agency and via the draft.
But
Okay,
that's because of
Okay.
coaching too,
yeah, no, no, yeah, and I was
CJ.
going, I was going to get to that. I was going to get to that. They have players in place. They have a roster full of good players. The coaching right now is just going downhill. You know, I don't know what they're doing in practice, but it's just not working. But if he can come in and kind of bring the same thing that that same culture as far as bringing in players that Philadelphia has, good players, like I said, via the draft, via free agency, and then you pair that with the right coach who brings in the right coordinator, or if just say if the head coach is going to be the offensive coordinator, they got the right scheme for the players. I think that'll work.
Well, okay, you got the GM, so who would you want to be the head coach?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't know. I honestly don't know right now. Um, the sexy pick is Ben Johnson. Okay, but my thing with him is I want him to be here. Okay, I because
Mhm.
he interviewed for the job last year, but he turned it down or declined another interview or something, right?
Right.
Okay.
I think he declined the second interview.
Yeah. Whoever it is, I just want them to be here. I want them to understand that they're coming into a mess. Okay. This is a straight up mess. They're going to have to come in. They're going to have to, like I said, we have to rebuild this ship. You know, I don't think it's completely broken down. Okay, but it's definitely a rebuild. All right. You know, I don't think if we
Yeah.
run the V8, I don't think we down all 8 cylinders, but I'm damn sure we down at least six and a half. You know, we down at least
Right.
six and a
Right.
half. It's a lot of work to do. It is a lot of work to do. I just want they hired a GM first. I just want him to pick somebody that's gonna come in and say, okay, this is what we have, right? These are the strengths of what I've seen from everybody on your roster. These are the weaknesses. This is the plan that I have to amplify the strengths of what we have now. Okay. And then on the next page, okay, well, this is what I have for the future. Okay, this is what we can do with what we got now, but going forward, this is what I want to work up to. Okay, and
Right.
I don't know who that is. It's just my personal opinion. I just want somebody to come in and wants to be here.
Right. Go ahead, Wiley.
So I have two options. I think it's either going to be Evero and Dan, or it can be the Miami offensive coordinator and Dan. For this reason, Evero,
Frank
because he
Smith.
gets stability. You don't have to worry about the defensive side. You can elevate one of his guys to defensive coordinator, and you worry about the offense side of the house. If you go with the guy to Miami, what you get is he seen what they needed to do for Tua and try to help Bryce get there. If we really worried about Bryce, me personally, I don't know if Bryce is the future. I'm not saying he's not, but it depends on what the owner says. If the owner think give Bryce 100% chance, then you hire somebody that's done something similar with a guy that has a similar skill set, which is Tua, and you give Bryce the opportunity. If Bryce doesn't do anything next year with the opportunity given, then you give that person the opportunity to move off on him for 25 and get his quarterback. So give him opportunity actually to be successful. That's the reason why I'm saying go that way. It's two different options. One, it gives a focus on Bryce. Two, focus on the team with Evero. And you build out the team. If you go with Evero, you build out the team in material of Bryce. And if Bryce makes it, great. If he doesn't make it,
Hmm.
you draft your quarterback in 25. That's just me.
I like um I like Nick Mateo from the Baltimore Ravens, and either one, Todd Monken or Mike McDonald, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, to be the head coach. And I say that because you look, especially on the defensive side of the ball, Mike McDonald was at Michigan when Jim Harbaugh first got to Michigan, and he left and went back to Baltimore. When he left Michigan, the current defense coordinator coach under Mike McDonald in Baltimore and went with Mike McDonald to Michigan. So when Mike McDonald came back to Baltimore, um uh the defense coordinator for Michigan stayed.
Hmm.
You look at their defense, both of them on the collegiate level and the NFL level, both of them have had really good defenses the past 3 or 4 years. You look what Michigan done the past 2 years, and you look at what Baltimore has done defensively the past 2 years, and this just look at where they're at right now. Baltimore is the hottest team right now in the NFL. Michigan just won the national title. Okay, so there is something there with Mike McDonald that I would like to see him bring to Carolina. And by
Tony.
doing that, if you come with Nick Mateo, you know, that's that pairing, that's that relationship that's already established that you will be bringing to Carolina. And Tom Munkin, I like Tom Munkin. When we first got rid of Matt Rule, I was hoping that we got jumped on Tom Munkin then, but we didn't. Okay. But now look what he's done in just his 1 year in Baltimore. His what past 3 or 4 years in Georgia, back to back national champs. He won a national championship with a quarterback who wasn't even a rated quarterback coming at Georgia. The guy was a walk on. Okay. They won two national championships with this guy. Now look what he's done for Lamar and the offense in Baltimore this year. Now, granted, Baltimore has drafted the pieces around um, Lamar that they should have had all along, but Lamar even looks like a better quarterback throwing from the pocket than any time in his career, even the year that he did with MVP. And now he has Lamar on that same trajectory this year. So I just think there's something to be said about that coaching staff in Baltimore that I would like to see translate in Carolina.
Hey, fellas, my bad about that. I had a call, but I had to tell
Yeah.
you guys, I appreciate y'all. Let me pull up. I'm about to get off. Again, I don't know how many people we got in the comments or are watching. Again, if you have not subscribed to Two Fans in the Stands and show CJ and Tony some love, or hit that like button on your way out, definitely do it before you head out and enjoy your rest of your Saturday before games come on this afternoon, man. Definitely appreciate Wiley pulling
Yes.
up, and I definitely appreciate y'all letting me pull up. Y'all know where to
Yes,
find
sir.
me at. Definitely hit me after the show, and I definitely appreciate y'all always let me come chop it up with y'all.
Always, man. Appreciate you,
Hey,
Doug.
All right, yes, sir, man.
hey,
Just hit me up. Y'all
appreciate
know where
you,
to hit
boy.
me up. Just hit me up when y'all get done.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
All right. Appreciate you, Doug.
All right, Tony. I got a little pushback. You know, your boy
Okay.
Evero got the number 4 defense total defense this year, Carolina, even though we didn't look like it. All those injuries. And last year he finished, even they traded 4 of their best players last year, he ended up with number 6 total defense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Right.
saying when you do less with more, and we're gonna do less with more in the next couple of years, I prefer a guy like that can do less with more and don't make excuses. Just roll up your sleeve and get it done. Now, those other guys, you made some great points. I like that he was at Georgia, then he was successful there with what's his name, Stetson Bennett.
Bennett, yeah.
And he made Stetson
Yes,
Bennett
that's
look
the
good.
minute.
Yeah, he made him look good. Then now he's improved Lamar's pocket passing, and the offense looks more cohesive, and he's using all the. He even hit guys in the middle of the field now. Normally, Lamar was either running or hitting it deep. So he actually outside of the tight end, he's hitting receivers now in the middle of the field. So I see the improvement there. It's just if we're saying it, I hate where every time we get on the show we talk about Bryce, but are we? You know what I mean? It's like, are we?
Ain't going it, Wilder.
If
Come on.
if we're trying to develop Bryce, is he the right guy? That's my
Mm-hmm.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we're going to go with the Miami guy if that's so. Simply because Stetson Bennett didn't look his the way they used him in Georgia. I don't know if it's similar to what we can use. Both of them about the same size. I don't know if it's similar what we can use Bryce with in the NFL. And if we're divorced ourselves from making him our future, and we're just saying make the team better, okay, no problem. I will agree with both of those candidates simply because Baltimore has a track record of building our teams and having success year after year, player after player. I agree. The only reason why I picked Dan and those guys because I'm a homer right now.
Okay. Mr. Hunky Dory said, Tony, I disagree. Lamar is a different level than Bryce. Ivero is a great defensive coach. Smith can improve offense around Bryce. To bring in Baltimore coach, we have to have a new QB. I totally disagree with that. And the reason why I say that, if you look at the offense that Todd Monken ran at Georgia, that he has installed now in Baltimore, is very similar type of offense that Bryce Young ran at Alabama. So if you're talking about putting Bryce, getting the best out of Bryce, you need to put him in the position that made him Bryce Young. He's not a running quarterback. And this year, Lamar is running a lot less than any time in his career. Now, is Bryce Lamar Jackson? By no means, no stretch of the imagination. You okay? So we already got that. We get that out the way now. But you're not going to ask Bryce to do a lot of running. Lamar runs because he can, because that is a weapon for Lamar. He this year has become more of a better passer than any other time in his career. Therefore, he's running a lot less this year. Even though he will get out the pocket, when he needs to and take off, there are some design runs that they still have there for him. But more than anything, he has become more of a passer this year than any time in his career. And I would say that is to credit only that's the credit. One, Todd Monkey being offensive coordinator, and two, for them having better weapons around him. When you're talking about OBJ and Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, from Minnesota, and then Isaiah Likely that stood in for Andrews. You know what I'm saying? So he
Mm-hmm.
has better weapons around him, better receivers around him to throw the ball, and the scheme that Todd Monken brought in fits him to a T. Because now, in my opinion, I don't think people could just sit back and say that um Lamar is just a running quarterback, because this year he has shown you that he can consistently throw it all over the field.
Okay. We got Quan. He said, "How are we entertaining the idea of a new QB? Y'all not tired of going QB after QB every damn year? Why not build around your young QB and let him actually develop?"
Facts, Quan.
And I
Facts.
I, I agree.
Facts.
I agree.
Facts.
Hey, there are a lot of people out there that want Bryce Young gone, that think that we need to draft a quarterback with the 33rd pick. Okay, and this is just my opinion. Okay, but I don't think there's any way that the Panthers are drafting a quarterback in the draft. If they do draft a
This
quarterback,
year
it
or
will
next year.
yeah, it will probably be a late round pick. I think the only scenario where we end up taking the pick is like if Wiley said, if Bryce just completely flames out this year. And when I say flame out, I mean like we have upgraded the talent around him. They're doing their thing. The offensive line is protecting him. The defense is still standing strong like they've done for most of the
Mhm.
season, not the whole season. But if all the stuff that we get called the what is it, the Bryce supporters,
There
the
you
Bryce
go.
sexuals, that's what I'm
There
thinking
you
about.
go. Oh,
You, you
see,
know
that's stopping
that
you.
that's what we get called. But if they upgrade the offensive line, they get talent, we get the right scheme in here, and you can consistently see play after play that there's open receivers. The running backs are doing good, defense is doing good, and you got, just it's plain as day that Bryce is looking at people wide open and not throwing them the ball. I think that would be the only way that
See,
this year, or
yeah.
and I'm sorry, after this year, that they're going to say, okay, we need to draft another quarterback. Bryce Young is
So,
going to be quarterback this year, and I'm damn pretty sure that he's going to be the quarterback next year too. Okay,
so if he's
I,
if he's 32 again, we're gonna say it's okay.
you
If
talking
he's
about rank
32
If
or
32?
he's
30,
what?
he was 32 this year.
You talking about
Majority of
his
the
rank?
yeah, 32.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. We were the 32nd offense, and he was some
Mm-hmm.
kind of 33rd quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Not 32nd. 33rd.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying if the guy was number 20, okay, let's go. If the guy was number
Mm-hmm.
18, okay. 32 and
Mm-hmm.
33.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you
Okay.
this.
And only
Let
Hold
me
on,
say
Tony.
this,
Hold on, Tony. Let
Bobby.
me get him. Let me get him,
Uh,
Tony.
go
Let me
ahead.
get him.
No, hold on.
Hold on, Tony. Let me get
Hold
him.
on before I finish.
Oh, finish.
Also, also this. Remember, the coach got fired because week 3 they wanted to bench his ass. They didn't. The
Mm-hmm.
coach got fired. Remember? Now they
Mm-hmm.
didn't bench him after week 3, like, and kept Andy
Mm-hmm.
the whole time. Realistically, I looked at it. It was about 6 or 7 games that Bryce lost us. Not the offense, Bryce. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Now, you said that we were consistently ranked the 32nd offense. Okay. Last I
Yeah,
checked, offense was 11 players, not just one.
yeah. I understand that completely. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And you said that there were 6 games that you think that Bryce cost us by himself. Nobody else.
Pick six. Pick six or
Well, that
turnover inside the 20. Him.
pick
Yes.
six, a
Yeah.
turnover inside the 20.
I 20. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I-20. Okay. Well, cool. Well, me get back to that. Like I said, it's an offense. It is an entire offense. Okay. Bryce is only going to be as good as his supporting cast, and everybody's probably watching this going to be like, "Well, nah, well, look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow got killed his rookie year, but yeah, but Joe Burrow also had a hell of a lot of talent around him. The one deficiency that he had was his offensive line. Okay, and I beg to say that our offensive line might have been as bad or a little bit worse as that Cincinnati offensive line, but he had Jamar Chase. No, I'm sorry, not his rookie year. He had Jamar Chase the next year, right?
He had oh boy, the guy that's out there now. The guy came from Clemson. What's his name? The one that's the free agent. The
Higgins.
receiver. Higgins, there you go.
Yeah, he had Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon. I forgot who the other receiver was on that
I can't
offense.
remember who the receiver was. You're right.
Yeah.
I
But
yeah.
but even still, my point is this that entire offense was bad. Okay. The entire offense was terrible. All right. I think
CJ.
you got to hold on. Wait now. And like just Zoe said in the chat here, said Bryce was sacked 62 times this year, third most if he's not mistaken. All right. Play after play.
Facts.
And like I said, it's it's enough blame to go around. Okay, it's enough blame to go around. And I challenge everybody out there who says that Bryce Young is the sole factor in us having such a bad year. Okay, next time we go live, hell, email, send me something. Pull up the tape. Okay. Pull up the tape. And I thought about doing this one day. I thought about going live. Let's go on live, Tony. And we have all of our the all 22 film ready. Okay, y'all go back, y'all give us a game, you give us a play. All right, we'll go find that play, we'll go pull that play up, and I need everybody to come in and explain exactly what they mean when they say that Bryce lost us this game by himself. It was nobody else's fault but his. That's the one thing that I don't see with a lot of this
Okay.
commentary.
Okay.
Hold on. That's the one thing I don't see with a lot of this. Everybody say Bryce, 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 Bryce. Okay, but my thing is, can you pick out a specific play? All right, like I said, if y'all ain't got the all 22, we got the all 22. All right, pull up on us and we'll bring it up one day. Tell me the game. Tell me the play. Okay, I'll play it in double speed. I'll play it in half speed. I'll play it in in real time, and come and tell me what he did and why he was the sole cause of us, losing however many games people think he lost. Okay,
Okay.
I'm not saying that Bryce is not is not part of the problem. Okay, if y'all come on our channel, I try to be as what's the word I'm looking for?
Objective.
Yeah, I try to be as objective as possible. Okay, if Bryce made a bonehead play, I say he made a bonehead play. But the thing is,
Facts.
a lot of times, you got your offensive line. I never forget this. It was the Saints game, and I think it was the game down in New Orleans, and Cam Newton was talking about it, and he was saying like, he would love to see Bryce Young step up in the pocket. Okay, buy him maybe another second or two. But then he said, if you look at this play here, he said, where is he supposed to step up in the pocket at? He showed a play where I guarantee you there were 6 New Orleans defenders between him and the offensive line. The offensive line was turned around like this, looking at all of the people they supposed to be blocking 3 yards behind them, going towards Bryce. Okay, play calling. All right, like I was saying earlier with Tony, you got these plays where it's 3rd down and 6 or 7, and you calling these dig routes. And I told Tony this earlier. He was saying 12-yard dig routes. And those of y'all that know Charlotte, I said the dig yards weren't 12 yards. I said dig yards were going all the way down Mint Street to Little's Hardware. It seemed like they were throwing routes 30, 40 yards down the field. And Wiley, I heard you say one time before about the average time in the pocket that a quarterback has to throw in the NFL, and it was like 2 point something seconds. Okay. And I think you said that Bryce he was right under that average. So you saying he had plenty of time. And when I go back and look at some things, yes, there are some of those plays where you count 1, 2. All right. Bryce has somewhat of a clean pocket. He's ready to throw. You look downfield, and all of his receivers are standing next to a defender, just looking like, well, I hope he don't throw the damn ball to me, because I ain't gonna be open. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, I know I'm getting kind of off topic
I
here,
got you.
but
I got
I'm
you.
saying all that to say that there is enough blame to go around this year. I don't think that you can, and this is just my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion. I'm not trying to speak for anybody, but for me, I can't sit there and say that off of this year and off of everything that has gone on with this team, around this team, talent that we have, injuries, the coaching, the play calling, everything, that I'm gonna say, oh well, you know what? If we would have just had somebody else in here, we would have at least won 5 or 6 more games. Okay,
Okay, see. Okay.
I can't let that come out my mouth and right
Okay,
now.
CJ. CJ, let's check it out, right? The best
Mm-hmm.
game Bryce had, right, when he had 312 yards, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Mr.
You notice?
Packers.
Okay. All right. So you notice when he dropped back, he let the ball go. Those receivers had the same separation they had all year long.
No, they didn't.
Hold on.
No,
No,
they
they ain't.
didn't.
No, they
No, they
haven't.
Hold
didn't.
No, they
No,
haven't.
they
on.
didn't.
No, they haven't.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All
My apologies, Wiley. I try not to cut nobody off, but Tony. He the only one I like to interrupt like that. But I'm sorry.
the
I'm sorry.
reason
Go
why I'm
ahead.
saying
Finish your
that
statement.
the reason why I'm saying is this: they had the same separation with Andy when Andy had almost 400, 300, 69 or whatever it was, 65 yards he had. They had the
Mm-hmm.
same separation. What I'm trying to say is Bryce made some outstanding throws, but those
Mm-hmm.
throws were in tight ass pockets. I'm saying is a lot of that had to do with him not letting the ball go.
Mm-hmm.
I wish to God they would have let Andy play half the season and Bryce play half the season. Then we truly be able to see the difference in the, because we're evaluating our team based on a lot of Bryce stuff. To me,
Mm-hmm.
I seen a lot of rookie mistakes that he made. They're rookie mistakes, but he
Yep.
made them.
True.
But
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is, last year the offensive line looked better with we thought was inferior quarterback play. Cause when Icky was pushing the guy up the field when they beat him, right? They pushed him up the field. What Sam Donald did was step up and move to the left, and then he had a throwing lane. What Bryce did is back up instead of stepping up and moving to the left because he was pushing the guy up the field because the guy
There
Hold
was
on,
beat him.
Tony.
nowhere for him to
Go
Hold
ahead.
on,
step up
Tony.
to.
Facts.
Say again.
There was nowhere for him to step up to. Y'all
Okay.
keep saying Bryce needs to step up in the pocket. Step up into what? Getting his
Okay.
damn head knocked off? Because that's what
Okay.
was
You know
weak
what?
on.
We need to pull up. Hey,
Because,
I do watch the
because
all
Bradley
22s.
Brad,
I do watch.
Bradley Bozeman, the interior of the interior of the offensive line was getting their head smashed in
Not every
all
time.
year. from the left guard, center to the right guard, Icky or
You know what?
whoever.
We need to pull up the all 22s. You know why?
When Bryce had time to step into the pocket, when Bryce had time to step up into the
when
pocket,
he had a
Bryce
pocket.
completed when he had a pocket, when he had time to throw the ball and complete passes, he did that. He
Okay.
did that. Even in times where the pocket was pushed and it was collapsed around him, there were a couple times where he still completed the ball. There was nowhere for him to step up into and complete balls this year. Mind you, everybody wants to say, well, Bryce ain't but 5'10, this and that. Okay, cool. That's what it is. Everybody know that by now. So how you expect a 5'10 quarterback to step up in the pocket when you got a 6'5 center being pushed 2 yards in the backfield for you to step up into? Just tell me the math on how that's supposed to work.
Because this,
Just,
when he,
just give
hold
me the
on,
math.
I'm telling you,
Just
hold
give
on,
me the
I'm telling,
math.
I'm telling
How that
you,
makes sense
I'm
and
gonna
how
tell you
that's
how
supposed to
the
work,
math
Wally.
math. Because he wasn't on a center, he was in shotgun, and he stepped. When he received the ball in shotgun, he stepped back 2 steps. Now that means he's probably about 5 to 6 steps behind the center, even when the center got pushed back 2 yards. Now all he had to do was step up 1 yard and go to the left, and Icky Man would have been going up the field just like Icky did with Sam Donald. We didn't pull up the all 22s. You'll see. Icky didn't do nothing different. Icky's not trash. Icky did the
Bruh,
same thing he did last
we
year. Okay, all
not
right.
not 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 only did we watch the games, but we have watched every all 22 that has come out. Carolina, we have analyzed these tapes and we have broken down like CJ said that we're not saying that Bryce ain't to blame. We're not saying that. But if you really
You're on mute, Wally.
if you really love
Okay.
football and really
Mm-hmm.
know football, and as we say, we
Mm-hmm.
all know that it always starts in the trenches. And if the
Yep.
trenches ain't right, your quarterback ain't gonna be right. I don't care who you are,
Okay.
if you're Tom Brady, if you're Joe Montana, whatever. If your offensive line is not blocking for you, you are not going to have a good or successful year,
Okay.
especially as a rookie.
Okay.
Especially as a
So
rookie.
second
We
year
hold on,
guy
hold on, hold
Joe
on, hold
Barrow
on,
went
hold
to the
on, hold
Super
on, hold on,
Bowl.
hold on. Before the season started, everybody was of the mindset that we had a better offensive line than the Houston Texans. Am I right or wrong?
So you didn't answer the
Yeah, I
question.
did too.
No, wait,
Second
no,
year
no, no.
guy Joe
Answer the
Barrow
question.
got sacked 10 times
And,
in a game, majority of the season, went to the Super Bowl.
hold on. That was his rookie year. Joe Burrow tore his
Second
ACL his
year,
rookie year.
second year, 2 years, second
Okay,
year.
but let's talk about his first year. Let's talk about
Yeah,
how
he
much
got
he
his
was
leg
getting
broke.
beat up and sacked his
He got his
first
leg
year
broke.
and
But
tore his
was it
ACL.
broke or
Hold
was
on.
it?
Let's
Go
talk
ahead.
about how he tore his ACL behind that
Yeah.
sorry ass offensive line his first
Mm-hmm.
year. Let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about that.
Yeah.
God, thank God Bryce made it through this season. Everybody talked about his toughness, his size, his weight, his height. He is the only quarterback outside of CJ Stroud that got drafted this year that didn't have a season-ending injury and didn't miss more than one game.
True.
And this man
Because
got
he,
hit.
yeah.
This man got hit 60. That's just sacks. He got sacked 62 times. Ain't no telling what's the total on how many hits he took.
I'm not I'm
So
not
we
doubting that the guy is not tough. I'm saying is I'm saying maybe I don't really care if he's our quarterback or not. I think some people do. I don't care. I'm saying is
mhm.
if he does a good job, keep him. If he doesn't do a good job next year, get rid of his ass. Move on. I have
Well,
no attachment to this guy. I think the problem is there's
okay,
too many
I
people that
get
are
it.
attached to him.
Mm,
There, what I'm saying, you got people that hate him, and you got people that are attached to him. I have nothing. I don't really care for the
right.
guy. I just want to win.
Hold on, Wally.
Okay.
I just wanted to see there that during that year that he went to the Super Bowl, he was sacked 51 times.
Yeah, he got sacked. Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, I know, but you said he was getting sacked like 10 times a game. I
No,
don't the numbers
he
don't
got
average.
sacked 10 times in the was it the champion? No, it was
But
the divisional game. Divisional, I think it was. He got sacked
Oh,
10 times.
okay,
He won.
gotcha. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
even in the in the Super
I think
Bowl,
it
he
was
got sacked
divisional.
9 times that game.
Mm,
But
Yeah.
you know what we don't, you know what we don't have? We don't have a Jamar Chase. We don't have a T Higgins. We
Joe
don't have
Mixon.
a Tyler Boyd. We don't have a Joe Mixed in the backfield. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like those guys masked a lot of the mistakes that offensive line had that year. If Cincinnati could have gave up 10 or 15 fewer sacks, they would have won Super Bowl. If they
Yeah, they've
could
been
have kept
dominant.
Aaron
Yeah.
Donald, if they could have kept Aaron Donald off Joe Burrow ass on
They'd
that
have been
last
good.
play of the
Yep.
game,
Hmm.
they would have been they would have
Yeah.
got the first down and they probably would have won the game. Not only that, even though Aaron Donald got to Joe Burrow, if Samaje Perine would have caught the damn ball, because the ball was still there, it was still catchable. If he would have caught the ball, they would have had the first down.
Hmm. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doubting anything you're saying. I'm saying is
So
I think the problem is, and I think it's coming off wrong. I don't dislike Bryce. I'm saying is I don't think this year's a good. Q don't disagree with me. I don't think this. They said this year's probably
Q
the
gonna
best time
kick
to
your
draft.
ass.
I know, I know. They said this year is an opportunity to draft a quarterback because next year's quarterbacks are trash.
Mm,
Okay, I haven't watched that much
yeah,
college football. They have. I'm saying is I'm not tired of this guy. Don't marry me to our success to this guy. If he's not the guy, pull his ass in the middle of the season, bench him, put Andy in or whoever your backup is, win some games, see what your roster is, develop your team,
mm.
move on. That's what I'm saying. There's too many
but
people
that but that
too
that
married to
that
this guy. Go ahead.
they but because they are married to him. The Panthers
Okay.
organization made a commitment to him. I mean, for most first round picks, especially quarterbacks, you're going to have him for 3 years minimum, at least 3 years. I don't care how bad he is, how much of a shit show happens, or whatever the case may be.
I,
Bryce Young is going to be in Carolina for on the minimum 3 years,
how
on the
long was
minimum.
the guy
So
in
so
49ers? Trace. What's his name? Trey
Trey
Lance?
Lance, he
Trey
was there a
Lance.
good 3 years. He
Was
was
he
good. He
3 years?
was there a good 3 years, 3 or 4 years. Yeah,
But he was
Okay.
yeah.
behind who was he behind?
He was behind
Garoppolo.
everybody.
Garoppolo.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
behind
Everybody they brought
Yeah.
everybody.
in.
Yeah.
Whoever showed up.
Yeah, whoever
whoever,
showed
Yeah.
up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
whoever showed up.
Man,
Yeah.
I mean, look at Zach Wilson right now in New York.
Yeah.
He behind everybody.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson in his third, going to his fourth year.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have at least 3 years. And if you go back and look at the numbers, and they have brought this up on ESPN, this and that, because like you said, people was talking real reckless about Bryce, about this season. When you go back and you look at Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions his rookie year. You can look at Troy Aikman with 1 and
Don't
15
fall out that
his
chair,
rookie year.
Wiley.
Yeah.
But here's the
I
problem
mean,
with that. Did you
but
say the other
hold on,
side of
hold
the
on,
thing?
hold on,
Did he throw 27
hold on,
touchdowns?
hold on. But they all these guys that I just mentioned, even Joe Burrow threw more interceptions than he did touchdown his rookie year, even though he didn't play a full season. Uh Trevor Lawrence threw more interceptions than he did touchdown his rookie season. All these guys had bad rookie seasons. Bryce, even though they're not great numbers, and I'm not saying that he had a better rookie season than these guys because he didn't. The record is the record. But even what I'm saying is even with him even him going through all that he went through this year, his numbers at the end of the year was nowhere near as bad as some of these guys, or
Yeah, but
most of them anyway.
here's the problem with that statement. Just me. Whoever started, undrafted or not, guess what? They had a better damn game than Bryce. Undrafted rookies, guys that on teams with no offensive line, just like ours, had better
Who?
games than Bryce.
Hold on, Tony.
Who?
Hold on, Tony. Hold on, Tony. Wiley.
Yeah.
Look at the camera. Look at the camera. There you go. All right. Now, who did those undrafted free agents play against? Did they play against Bryce or did they play against the Panthers defense?
Oh, you mean the fourth ranked over total defense? That got that defense?
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm saying the fourth ranked defense. Okay, the fourth ranked defense, and you're saying that these undrafted free agents played against us and had good games, right? Or you just
And they
talking about?
played against other teams too. Not just
But hold
us.
on.
So you trying to
Hey, Holly.
not
Hey,
when they played
Wiley.
against us.
Okay,
I'm saying when
I
they
heard that
go ahead.
wrong. I heard that wrong. My bad. My
Not just
bad.
us.
Let,
I'm
let,
just saying
Okay.
that week.
let me tell you about the fourth overall defense that you're talking about. I want you to pull up one stat. Just pull up one stat right now for me.
Mm-hmm.
Pull up points per game defensively.
37.
Just pull it
They're
up.
way down there. But here's the problem with that.
No, no,
So
no, no,
when you
no,
put,
no.
I got you. No, I got you. Hold on.
Ain't no way down there. They are at the bottom. And
But
Wiley,
here's the
you
problem.
know,
Here's the problem with your statement, though. Here's the problem with your statement. Run defense, and pass defense, then top four. See, just give up points.
I
See,
wouldn't give a damn if they were number one in both categories.
Here's the problem, Tony.
Hold on. If your offense average 16.5 points per game and your defense is giving up 27.5 points a game, you are not going to win, sir.
See, here's the
I don't
problem, Tony. You fell
I
into
don't
the trap,
we,
Tony. You fell into the trap. The
how,
trap is this.
how is that a
Bryce
trap?
Bryce threw 14 interceptions, right? Guess where
No.
they were at?
No, he
Yeah, he
didn't.
did.
He threw 10.
10.
Okay,
He threw
my
10
bad.
interceptions and
10,
11
and of the
touchdowns.
10, 8 of them were in outside of the 50, correct?
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
No,
Yes.
I don't know.
okay. I
Outside
get where Wiley's going with this.
The 30, the 40-yard line was 6 of them. That's interceptions, right? Then he had turnovers. He had a total of 14 turnovers. That was bad. A total of 14 turnovers. Now, those turnovers and those interceptions, 9 of the 14 were outside of the 50. And majority of it was inside of our 20. What do you expect somebody to do?
Hold on. But okay.
I expect the defense to come on the field and get the ball back. That's what I expect. Right. I expect the defense to do their job. Period.
Hey, but okay. Now I see where both of y'all are going on this one because I was going to say that too. We had the fourth ranked defense in total yards given up, right? Okay.
The field was
but now early in the season, our run game was Swiss cheese. Everybody came in and ran the ball down our throats game after game after game.
True statement.
Okay. So Evero, whatever adjustments that he made, that shored up, and we started having games where we weren't getting diced, by the team's run game. All right. But then, it's kind of the same thing. No, so kind of flipped around. All right. Then the passing game started giving up yards like the running game. And it really wasn't until later in the season where they both kind of came together and was like, okay, we're going to play at the exact same time. Okay.
I knew you was drinking.
But Wiley, in your defense, okay, in your defense, I will say this. Now, we did have a lot of turnovers, and the field position this entire year was not in our favor whatsoever. No. And it was not always because of turnovers too. It was because of just bad offensive play. And if we get the ball down inside the 20-yard line, 9 times out of 10, and sometimes even damn near 10 times out of 10, we were going 3 and out or may get one first down, but we were still punting inside the 20. So the opposing teams did not have that far to go to score. So we weren't giving up yards, but we were giving up points because a lot of teams really didn't have that far to go to score. Now on the
Mhm.
same side with my co-host here, now I'm agree with Tony. The defense should have been able to stop more of this than they did. I'm not gonna
So,
put it all on the defense and say that they should have stopped everybody. You know, depending on the
CJ,
time of the game. Hold on, hold on,
CJ,
hold on, hold on,
you
hold
lost
on, hold
six
on.
of your 11 though. Six of your
Hmm?
11 starters for the majority of the year. That's more than half. Go ahead.
No, and I understand that, and we had the same
And how
injuries on the
many?
offensive line, and everybody's still blaming
Thank
Bryce for how
you.
bad the offensive line played. It's you
Thank
in the
you.
same boat.
Thank you.
If, if,
Thank
if
you.
if you're gonna give
Thank you.
grace to the defense because of injuries, you got to give grace to the offense, the line because of injuries too. And the offensive line play directly affects Bryce Young's play. You can sit there and say that it don't, but it does to a certain extent. Okay.
So the offense lost two players majority of the season. Guards, right?
Yeah, they lost guards. They lost Bradley, Brady
Yeah, but
Christensen, and
every
and
level on
Austin
the
Corbett.
defense, every level on the defense lost players. Every level. Name a level they
Mhm.
didn't lose player. Name a level on defense they didn't lose player.
What's your argument, Wally? What is the argument?
My argument is this. They made it work what they had on defense. On offense, it sounded like a whole bunch of excuses. And I'm telling you this, and this is the piece of the reason why that damn those coaches had all those issues and we had all that stuff come out. Because they wanted to bench Bryce. And people don't want to say this. They all was arguing with each other because after that game in Seattle, they wanted to bench Bryce. That's what. Remember those articles came out. They the bench Bryce at that time. The team. I'm talking about the team now. The
Mhm.
team. You could have evaluated the team, but they made the season about him. That's the reason why I think a lot of people dislike him because they didn't get an opportunity to evaluate the team. They made the season about him. I personally, I don't really, I don't think one player holds up the team. You check out the team. And then if that player fits, great. If the player don't, you move on. Just
Okay.
me.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you too. But the fact of the matter is, they're not gonna move on from Bryce Young next year. I
Well,
think you know a lot of people
one
that
more
don't like
year.
him.
One more
They
year.
want him to. They
I
want him
think
to,
I,
but it's
I
not
think
going
they're
to
gonna.
happen this year.
You're right. They're gonna make it through this season. They're gonna draft a quarterback, and then they're gonna have a competition. He make it. He make it. He don't. He don't. That's life.
Yeah. Now, see, now I don't have no issue with that. If Bryce Young comes out and struggles this year and has another season like this, but like I said before, if we upgrade the talent around him, the offensive line stays healthy all year, the defense does what you know. If the defense would have played some of the games like they did at the end of the season, the entire year. You see what I'm saying? But like I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
if you giving grace to the defense because of injuries, you got to give grace to the offense because of injury, especially on the offensive line. Now I know it was just the guards, okay, but it was the guards and Bradley Bozeman. Now Bradley Bozeman wasn't hurt, but he didn't play good. Okay, you got Icky and Moulton. Now Moulton was probably the strongest player on the strongest
Yep.
alignment we
He
had.
was. He was.
Icky was constantly getting beat. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you got the plays where you got Moulton and you got Icky. Their men are coming around. All right, so you got your two guards, who your two starting guards who were hurt. All right, you got these backup players playing guards up in the middle of that offensive line. You got your center, okay, who is clearly struggling this year in,
Mm-hmm.
in, in most pass blocking situations with that scheme that you got. Okay.
Yep.
And then you want Bryce to step up, and you were saying about him catching the ball in the shotgun. So my thing is, everybody other than Bryce who catches the ball in the shotgun stays exactly in the spot where they caught the ball at and don't drop back a yard or so.
No, I'm saying is he's supposed to be. Now this, I hate talking about this guy. He's supposed to be so smart. He's supposed to be so smart. You could not look at the film and go, "Oh shit, let me just pause for a second, step to the
Mm-hmm.
left." Because pause for a second, step to the left. I got an open lane.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that's what Sam did. And we pull up the all 22. We'll see. Icky did the same
Mm-hmm.
stuff he did the year before. The guy, he's slow footed. The guy beat him up the field. All he did was push him up the field. The problem
Mm-hmm.
is Bryce saw him getting pushed up the field. I don't. He didn't. step forward and step to the left. It was like when we had Baker. Baker was doing the same thing. Bryce, Sam didn't get sacked as much as Baker did. The offensive line was the same offensive line. They were doing the same stuff. Yes, we ran more, but from a passing perspective, they did the same stuff. The guys did it. It's just the way the quarterback maneuvered inside of the pocket. That's all I'm saying is when when Andy came in, he played that one game. Andy was moving in the pocket. He was dealing with the pocket. All I'm saying is he some of those sacks are not on the offensive line. Some of those sacks, he was a rookie. He made some mistakes, and I
I
give
agree
him
with that.
grace that he was a rookie. I'm giving him grace he was a rookie. I'm just saying if it happens next year, though, he might have to move on from the guy. If he's 32 of 32 or 33 again, of all quarterbacks that have started majority of the year, because the problem is some of those weeks when he was 32, an undrafted rookie played on another team. How are you behind that person? I'm not saying these are established guys. I'm talking about their starter went out, and these are undrafted guys.
And
And he's
I
behind them.
get what you're saying. I get what you're
That's
saying.
my
I get what you're
problem.
saying. But like I've said, I've said this on here. I've said this talking with some of my friends. I've said it at work. I say this everywhere. When we're comparing Bryce Young to any other quarterback, okay, all these other quarterbacks and Bryce Young, they run different schemes. They have different coaches. They run different systems. You understand what I'm saying? You got some teams just like when we played Jacksonville, when we played CJ, I can't think of his last name, but something start with a B. Okay. You know what they did with him. All right, they ran the ball. The offensive line ran the ball. When he stepped back in the pocket, he did his 2-3 step drop. When he was ready to play at that back foot, he knew where he wanted to go with the ball. His receivers were open and he threw the ball. Okay. Like I was saying to you before about Bryce Young, when he had time to throw in the pocket, there were times when, like you said, when he stepped back and you count that 1, 2, and you was talking about the NFL average of time in the pocket. Okay. Bryce Young stepped back. He had somewhat of a pocket, but he had nowhere to throw the ball to. And I say this too again, you don't when we look at those plays, you don't know what his reads are on the plays because there was a lot of plays where Bryce Young was looking this way and somebody was open over that way. You
Yeah.
know,
I'm not counting that. I'm saying
yeah,
I'm looking at
we
all
don't.
22s. I'm looking at the area he's focused on, and I'm saying he could have let the ball go. But again, uh, a lot of that was at the beginning of the season. He threw the ball at the end of the season more than at the beginning. He improved. I'm not gonna sit here and say he didn't improve along the way. I'm just saying it's tough to not evaluate the rest of the team worried about him because we finna be we're in the off season. Now who do we sign of these guys? Who do we sign?
Yeah.
You ain't evaluated them.
Well, but you know what though? But that's also what the tape is for too. If like I said, if you get the right coach come back in here, he sits down, he looks at the tape from last season. There should be enough on there where he can say, well, you know what, I need to do this, this, and this. This is what they were doing. This isn't working. Let me not try this with this group. Okay. I mean,
I'm saying
just like any other quarterback, I'm not quarterback, any other
a lot
coach
of our
that
guys are
comes
free
in the
agents. What
offseason.
I'm not talking about the only ones on the roster. I'm talking about the free agents. We have free agents. That's the problem. Who are these free agents on the offensive side do you sign? Receiver, tight end. Who do you sign? See,
Yeah,
you see how
well,
you scratch your head? Because you can't evaluate them.
Well, I mean, you can evaluate most of them. You can evaluate the players they want on the field. Some of them were slow, just straight trash. I mean, that's just how it is.
All right. It is what it is. I mean, yeah. I understand. So you notice you didn't get much pushback. I
Yeah, I
can't.
mean,
I ain't gonna sit
sometimes
here and lie about it.
you just got to call a spade a spade. But one thing I will say is that we have historically had a problem in Carolina where talent comes here, does not perform well, goes to another team, and somebody was
Bingo.
like, "Hey, you know what? You did you do this good. You don't do this good. I'm going to amplify the things that you do good, and we're gonna go out here and make this work."
That's it. It's weird,
It,
ain't
no, it's not weird. It's stupid. It's bad coaching.
it?
It's bad everything. You know, because
Yeah.
that's like when we was talking about Sean McDermott in Buffalo. You know,
Mhm.
hell, he was signing at least 3 or 4 players a year from our squad that went to Buffalo and contributed
And made it work. And made it
and
work.
made it work. You know,
Here's the
look at
fun.
Starla Tulane went, and I mind you, now he I'm not gonna say he didn't do good while he was down here,
Oh,
but you
he
know,
was good.
but that was back when I think when Gettleman was here, and you know,
Yeah, he
David
was
Gettleman was just like, "Screw it,
bad
I'm
too.
not paying nobody. You can go wherever you want to. I'll replace you." And
True
you see
statement.
where that got us.
But we did
Yep,
a. I
pretty
remember we did
much.
a show on GMs, right? Went through all the
Uh huh.
players we didn't sign and all this other stuff. When I started during the season, I had to really look at that, right? Then I started looking at all those players. Dude, we got a lot of players that are still in the league that we got that were on our team. All literally all throughout the league. And I'm like you said, they went to other teams, they found out what they did good and emphasized that. Well, we
Mm-hmm.
got rid of them. They trash. Well, they might not be that much trash. It's still in the league because
Yeah.
you got to produce to stay in the league. No one's just
Mm-hmm.
giving you a roster spot. You got
Yeah.
that means we wasn't that bad at drafting. We were bad at developing.
You know what? I 100% agree with you on that one.
I
I
we,
think
agree
we
with
yeah,
that.
found a guy, but we didn't know how to develop him.
yeah. I can agree with you on that. I sure can. I sure can. Yep. But folks, man, let me tell you, this has been a good one, folks. I appreciate everybody in the chat. It looks like Mr. Hunky Dory and Dre are having quite the conversation here in the
Mr.
chat,
Hunky
and I'm
Dory,
trying.
he's on it today. He's on
Yeah,
it.
I'm trying to pay attention to y'all and pay attention to
He's
that
on it,
too.
boy. He's
And
on it.
they are on it. I've been trying to keep up with it on the screen.
He's
But
on it.
yeah, man. But I thank C Dougie from What's Up Dub for coming through. If y'all haven't already, please go over to his channel, subscribe. Wiley from the Panthers Germany podcast. If y'all haven't, please go over to his channel, subscribe. Um, Black Cat Panther podcast showed up in the chat. Uncle Quan from the Panthers Experience. All great podcasts. If you haven't already, go over to their channels and subscribe to them as well. We're probably gonna go ahead and get up out of here. But fellas, y'all got any final thoughts before we go?
Go ahead, Wiley. Uh, well, no, I don't have any final thoughts, CJ. Hey, looking forward to breaking down these players positions by position to see what's possibly what will be available to us in the draft. Anxious to see who's going to be the next head coach and GM, of course, and just waiting to see pieces starting to fall into place, and we get a better idea, better sense of what direction that we're heading in, and we can
Mm,
have more discussions about everything going forward. But like me and you both said last week, not having no hope, not having no optimism or any of that. We're just gonna let the chips fall where they may, and we'll dissect it and give our opinions based on that.
facts, facts. Wiley,
Yeah.
well, he might have stepped away, but and let me say, like we said before, I'm glad that this season is over. I'm glad that we can, we're gonna have to come back with a new coach, new GM, probably more, whole staff may be gone. I don't know exactly how many people they may keep, but I'm just happy that that we got a chance to to get the ball rolling again. Um, like Tony said, it's it's hard to say I'm not going to have any hope, any optimism. I know I am, but I'm damn sure going to keep it to myself. I'm not coming on here and you know, like, okay, you know, I'm looking forward to this, I'm looking forward to that. I just want, like you said, we're gonna let the chips fall where they may, and we're gonna see what's what. Okay. Because let me tell
Right.
you, when I say the Panthers got my hopes up this past off season and just pushed me right off the cliff, and I feel like I've been falling off that same cliff since the first game of the season, and I just now hit the bottom and was able to dust myself off and be like, "Who, that was a long fall." So you know that's how
I
this
agree.
season has felt to me. But yeah, man, I just want to thank everybody for pulling through, stopping to chat with us today. And if y'all haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, help us get to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. We're currently at 898, so we are 102 away from hitting our goal. And we thank everybody for the love and support that is shown so far, and thank you for everybody that will in the future. All right, and I'm gonna take us out like always do. Three things. Everybody, y'all be safe. Y'all be good. Oh, and hold on, wait a minute. Okay, hold on before we go. Mr. Hunky Dory, thank you for another super chat. He said 2024 is here. Great first year, CJ and Tony. Let's grow the channel. Hey, I greatly appreciate it.
Appreciate
Greatly
you, Hunky
appreciate it.
Dory.
Appreciate you.
Greatly
You
appreciate you, man. We
yeah.
hope to see you around more often, you know, as we continue to put out content throughout the off season and definitely throughout the year, man. So just stick around, and we're gonna continue to try to put out good content for you
Oh
guys.
yeah. All right. And M Moore said, "Great, hey, thank you." Now I don't know if I've seen you here before, but if I haven't, just want to say thank you for stopping by. Make sure you hit the like
Yeah, thank
button.
you, more.
Consider subscribing on the way out. We definitely appreciate you, Quan. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you all your input. All right, but I'm gonna take y'all out. Three things: one, y'all be good. Two, y'all be safe. And as always, keep pounding everybody. And we'll see y'all next time.